we just start talking.
That's how we do.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and talk.
I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts, D-Lady.
Trying to surprise you with my, hey, I started recording, but
it tells me you started.
I know, it tells it. This is a big flash screen. Recording started.
We were just talking about how we should start recording. My monitors are not straight. It's bothering me.
Yeah, because we start talking about stuff, and it's like this is
basically
podcast
the show
stuff. Yeah. why am I not recording this? Oh, wait.
3 VCRs going behind me. One of the ones that's off has a cooling fan. Another one just finished a few minutes ago. I should have changed tapes over, but I didn't have time.
Yeah, all that time.
I'm still recording tapes. I had finished. I got done everything I had, and then I made a delivery to that guy in Toronto. I don't know if I talked about that or not.
Yep, many times. He talked about the guy, but not the delivery. Yeah.
So I drove the rest to him, and I dropped them off, and I was done.
Yeah.
And then he gave me 5 boxes of tapes that I had not yet had that he got from other means.
Oh wow!
So now I'm almost done those. I have 1 box left, which is like 40 tapes. And once I finish those, I do not know where they're going to go because he doesn't want them. He's already had them. And some of them have some really good commercials, especially Star Trek The Next Generation. Like during that, there's some like the right 90s commercials that are good. I saw one that was for a Nissan 240 SX or ZX.
Okay, yeah.
And it was just like, a typical 90s commercial for a car. It's pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta find another sucker to buy your tapes.
I know. I did buy the guy.
Did you buy them from him or he just gave them to you?
No, he just gave them to me. He's been buying off me, but these ones he's just like, oh, I do have some here if you want them. I'm like, sure. What do you want for them? He's like, nothing. It's fine. I was just going to throw them out anyway. Like, okay.
Okay.
And he actually has a numbering system. So he's doing this archive thing. He calls it an actual archive. Like there's numbers he prints off with the like old school
label makers. Wow, like look at those things.
Simpson, property of Bart Simpson ones. And he prints a number for each tape. Every tape he's gone through, he gives a number, and it's over 3,000 now. And he records 1 tape at a time. He records it at super high quality, just with 1 VCR in his office. I got to see his setup while I was there. He takes the sleeve off the tape. He puts the tape on a shelf, photographs it, rotate, photograph, rotate, photograph, rotate, photograph.
Oh, wow.
Puts the sleeve up there, photographs it, then folds the sleeve down, removes every label off the tape, puts it on a piece of paper, puts that in the sleeve, puts the sleeve on his shelf to keep forever, and then gets rid of the tape.
Random.
Right?
Why does he want to keep the sleeve?
I don't know.
Man.
I'm not sure.
Just to say you have it, I guess.
It's kind of a neat, kind of small way to show how many tapes you've gone through.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
It's like printing digital cover arts or physical cover arts for digital games that you have.
Yeah.
And putting that on your shelf.
Almost.
You should do that with your Steam library. You should print covers.
I have seen people who actually take SD cards for the Steam Deck and put 1 game on each.
Okay, so it feels like
make little labels and holders for those, and then have physical games on their library on a shelf. Pull them off, put it in the Steam Deck, and play.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
It's ridiculous, though.
That makes more sense to me. No, that makes more sense to me than this VHS business.
Yeah. He also told me he has over 800 terabytes of Google Cloud storage he's paying for these tapes.
Wow.
Yeah. I think I calculated the other day it should be like 11 terabytes, but mine's all local on my NAS.
Okay.
And I've done almost as many tapes as him because he hasn't done all the ones I've given him yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like he did, I think 2,000 tapes before he started doing mine or even got mine. I don't think he's even started recording mine at all yet.
Yeah.
But
jeez.
Yeah. And I've given him almost 2,000 tapes. No, 1,700, I guess, because excluding the ones he gave me And then I also have another set. After I got this set from him, like 2 days later, we did that camping trip.
Mm-hmm.
And I had found a set of tapes in Georgetown where my cousin lives. And he went and picked them up for me. And that was the NASCAR bunch that I told you.
Okay. Yeah.
So
NASCAR. Yeah.
150
The NASCAR tapes. Yeah.
These
Yeah.
are actually NASCAR
Uh-huh.
from 1990 to 2006.
Okay. Some classic Busch in there. Yeah.
A lot of NASCAR. And I learned that not much NASCAR has commercials.
Yeah, I guess it's a straight event.
Well, sponsors come up all the time. They're like, oh, they're brought to you by so-and-so, but they just show the logo, right? Plus the cars all have logos. And every once in a while, there's a little sponsor spot or a commercial in some of them. But
Well, you don't want commercials interrupting the pace, right?
Well, that's what they said. I actually Googled it. I'm like, does NASCAR actually have commercials? Or when did NASCAR start getting commercials? Because some of the newer tapes, it seems like there are like good commercials I like, but there's not very many. And the older ones don't have it. So as far as I can see, people complained about missing out on the action because of commercials.
Yeah, when you're on a streak, you're on a streak. You can't.
Yeah, I would think
You can't give up. You can't give up early. You gotta finish that out.
And every tape is very well labeled, like so well labeled. I think I have them here, but I don't know where for sure. That's not it. That's 3D printing stuff. The NASCAR tapes, anyway, they all say what races are on it. So it says NASCAR Winston Cup 1997, and then it'll say which races specifically. Pontiac Excitement 400 in Richmond, Virginia, and then Prime Star 500 in Atlanta, Georgia. So it's like broke down. Wow. Very well documented. And the guy had said, he told my cousin, because my cousin picked them up, and they got talking for quite a while. And he told my cousin that he has way more tapes than this of other things. I didn't hear what. I can't remember if it was like hockey or something like that, but he used to just store these at his cottage and watch them when he was at the cottage because he didn't have cable there.
Okay.
Yes, this is like set one of like 4 different collections he has.
Oh wow.
Tapes at that cottage. Box is back.
Jeez.
Yeah. So I said, let me know if you have more you want to get rid of, because it was 150 tapes for $30.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good deal.
Yeah, and they're
for
all
you.
Well taken care of. He even has silica gel, like the
okay, yeah, the moisture things, yeah,
in every box.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
Pretty good. It's nice to not have mold.
Yeah.
I don't think there may have been one tape that broke as well out of all those, whereas other ones I've had a lot worse experience or worse ratio of bad tapes.
So when are you processing all of these tapes you're recording?
Periodically here and there. Like just the other day I did one tape.
One.
All night long. I got one tape done, but I got like I don't remember the exact number, but I got a bunch of commercials out actually. You know what? It's in this folder, so I can tell. 47 commercials out of one 6-hour tape.
47 unique commercials?
Yes, unique.
Okay.
No repeats. I don't cut out the repeats. I will like snip it in my editing software, but I don't actually cut them out and save them.
Mm-hmm.
Let me double check how long it is. So this is actually not even a full length tape. This is only 3 hours. Yeah, it's only 3 hours of Star Trek Next Generation. Yes, like exactly 3 hours and 47 commercials. Speaking of which, if you're interested in the stats, I have 256 commercials live on my YouTube now. I have 158 commercials scheduled right now.
Okay, yeah, good.
Up till April of next year. And I have 294 drafts that I need to name and schedule.
Yeah.
So
wow.
Once I get to a full year scheduled,
yeah,
I'm going to start filling in the gaps because I'm doing every other day right now.
Yep.
And I was talking about this other guy that I want to see if I checked to see if he wants these tapes. He's actually in Kitchener. I got I posted on a couple Kitchener Facebook groups a while ago for like free stuff. Like I'm in search of VHS tapes, right?
Yeah.
And somebody had tagged me saying, you're looking for tapes, right? Because someone else had posted an ad saying, I have tapes, who wants them? And they also tagged this other guy, Chris is his name, and he's in Kitchener. And so I found his YouTube channel through his Facebook, and what else? His like Twitter and everything like that. And his YouTube channel, he seems to post like 3 videos a day.
Oh wow.
Commercials per day. So I messaged him, I emailed him and said, are you interested in these tapes? I've got them. I'm already done with a whole bunch of them. You can have them. And I said, I got them free, so you can have them free if you want. And he said, I got to be honest with myself. I already have 400 tapes sitting here and I'm making it through 1 tape a week. So maybe not. He said, I'll let you know. Like, all right, well,
all right.
here if you do. But I'll probably post them and see if anybody else is interested. But that's at least one other guy. And in my email to him, I also said, you don't happen to go to garage sales, do you? Because I was in New Dundee and a guy thought that I had already come by because someone else was taking tapes for commercials and putting them on YouTube. Was that you by chance? And he hasn't answered yet. But
he's like, this guy's getting too close to me. He's
possible.
He's too hot on my trail.
Yeah.
Competition. You're scoping out the competition.
Yeah, maybe.
Speaking of VHS, I have to thank you for my unique copy of Super Mario Brothers on VHS.
Yeah, right?
The new movie. Yeah. After hearing Derek's endeavors to get Super Mario onto VHS tapes for his son, I was like, hey, any chance I can get one of those just to have on? And it's, I mean, don't take this the wrong way. I mean this in the best way. It looks terrible in the best way possible. For
it's as good as it gets.
I know. But like after seeing it like 1080p and then you put on it like a VHS on a CRT TV, it's just like it doesn't look good, but I like looking at this.
On a 13-inch CRT, it looks way better than I expected.
Probably, yeah. And that's the thing is I'm on like a 36.
Yeah.
So it looks a lot more blown out. So but yeah, it is very funny. I find it I turn it on and I'm just very amused by it. So
I also did Sonic and Sonic 2 for my son.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
I may be hitting you up for some more. We'll see how it goes.
You might need to find me some more blank tapes. I'm getting low.
Oh, just record over some of those junk ones that you got.
I could also do that. Yes, that is true. It's not like I have any junk ones here.
No.
The tape yesterday that was recording, and it has the Masked Singer on it. Like that's way too recent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been fun. I haven't bought any more VHS from Value Village or anything. So
blasphemy.
I've kind of, nipped some things in the bud.
I bought a VCR today.
Oh, jeez.
Kijiji, or no, Facebook Marketplace for $5.
Okay.
It's currently recording. It's perfect. Okay. It works great. I remembered I still had one more Elgato capture card.
Oh, no, one more. Oh, no.
Because I have 2 in my computer here. My son's computer, which is my old computer. So they're going with an HDMI converter. So it goes to HDMI and then down samples in OBS, but whatever. It's better than nothing. And then this one is HDMI, but I also ordered the AV cables for it years ago when I first got it. And then I tried those AV cables on this computer when I first started recording VHS tape. Well, not when I recorded 10 years ago or 11 years ago, but when I started again in November of last year, I started trying that. And I had this jittery problem where it looked like the tape would go back at 3 seconds every 5 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, this sounds familiar. I think you've told me about this.
All I could find was everybody saying this is an Elgato problem. But I hooked it up again today to a different computer. Maybe that's related. With older software, because that old computer has older software on it. It has a Windows Server 2008, which is basically like Windows 7, I think.
Okay.
Anyway, and it's working great. It's recording just perfectly without going to HDMI first. Worst case, I could have gone to an HDMI converter and gone to HDMI first, but I don't love doing that because they're not great quality. And a lot of them are also very picky on static. If you get any static, they might just go to blue screen, which I have.
Oh, really? Okay.
That here. The one down here does that. Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty picky sometimes.
I just have a regular old VCR from my grandma when she passed away. I inherited a VCR, and that's the one I got.
Yep. I don't have one that I inherited, but we do have some old ones. My wife has one from college. I don't know where she got it, and I've got an old one that I can't remember where it came from. But
I think we got rid of. I remember having a VCR. I remember when I first moved in my apartment, there was no Netflix or anything. Like YouTube was still kind of just starting out. It wasn't that big of a thing. It wasn't something you could spend hours just looking at content. It was kind of like those here's cat videos or something. So I remember having the idea. DVDs were out, but if you wanted to buy DVDs, they were like, $15, $20 a pop if you wanted to watch something, even an older movie. And in my head, I was just like, I have a VCR at home. I could go to Value Village and just buy movies. And they're like $2 for a VCR or for a VHS tape. So as I just did that, and I had a bunch of those tapes. And then eventually I just got rid of them all because Netflix came out and didn't need any of that stuff anymore. So there's a few tapes in there I wish I would have kept, but oh well.
Like what?
Well, there was a Pulp Fiction one in there. It had a nice like matte cover.
Clockwork Orange here I don't want.
Oh, didn't I give that one to you?
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you might have. There's that's the only one of the batch that I have left that I can think of that you might have wanted.
Yeah, I think that's the one. I think I did have that one and I gave it to you in that bunch.
Yeah.
So
I gave a bunch to Bill at the berry swap. So
okay, he didn't want Clockwork Orange.
He did not want Clockwork.
Really?
He already has it. I don't know.
I thought he was a Kubrick fan.
He might already have it.
Nah. No, I'm going to assume he doesn't like Stanley Kubrick. I think that's really.
Yeah, we can. Yeah. We can question his taste. That's fine.
Of course.
I don't mind.
All right, we fulfilled our VHS talk. No more VHS talk. People are turning this off. Jeez. So, what have you been up to other than VHS? Stop talking about VHS tapes.
I went camping with the family.
Mm-hmm.
Where I got VHS tapes because my cousin picked them up.
God damn it.
Other than that, it was a good camping trip. We stayed in a cabin. It was like it's a small cabin, but it had a bathroom and a sink in the kitchen there, a little kitchenette with a fridge and a sink. That's it. In the same room as the beds. So it was a bed for us.
Like a bachelor's apartment,
bed for the kids. Yeah. It was nice though. It was better than some of the cabins we stayed in before where there was no sink and there was no bathroom and you had to walk to go to a shared bathroom. But
okay. Yeah.
We still had to do that for showers, but it wasn't bad and it wasn't busy either. But this place has a this inflatable trampoline. It's like this long trampoline. Like it's like, I don't know.
Oh yeah, I think I actually saw one of those today in a video. Someone doing something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty freaking cool. Like I jumped on it, and if it wasn't so hot because the sun beating down on it, it would have been a really good time. It was still fun, but my kids were across on the other side of it. I tried to stay as far away from them as possible to not disturb them. And my son's like, "You're making me fall," and his like legs are kicking out because that trampoline feeling when someone else bounces to you. So that was happening even though he was on the other side from me because this thing's air inflated.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Still enough to do it.
Yeah.
I also went camping this past weekend. Like I got back yesterday.
You told me that, yeah.
So it was kind of a last minute camping trip. Well, not really last minute, but it felt like it was. We'd known about it for forever, but we didn't actually start prepping for it until like Wednesday, and we left on Friday.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a mad dash to get everything ready to go. Yeah. It was a small site. Went to Inverhuron. I don't know if you know where that is. Just north of Kincardine.
Yep.
So went there. Very small site with my parents. So they took their trailer and then we had to put our tent behind the trailer because there was not really any space. If we put our tent up normally, we just take up the whole space and we can't have fires or anything because we'll burn the tent down.
Oh, yeah.
So we left late. We got there at about 8:00, which is like when the kids were getting to bed. But we had to get there and unpack and set up a tent and blah blah blah. So they didn't get to bed until like almost 10:00. So it was a little rough. And then it poured, like it just dumped rain. It hit like midnight and it was just like straight downpour of rain. And my youngest, if he's in his room and it rains and rain hits his window, freaks him out. It happened last night. He got out of bed. He comes into our room. He has to sleep in our bed. He's scared.
There's a lot of rain.
This kid slept through a rain pounding on the tent for an hour and didn't hear a thing.
So late, right?
Maybe, I guess. So, and there was thunder and lightning, and it was just like, it was nuts. So I was just like, he's gonna wake up for sure, but not a peep. You even asked him in the morning, like, did you hear the thunder last night? He's like, no, what thunder? And I'm like, oh my gosh, who are you? So, but
too much.
Some stuff, we got a little bit of rain came in because we were a little bit cramped. We couldn't set the fly up as well as we wanted to. So
yeah, a
little bit of water got in. We had to sacrifice an air mattress. It was an old one anyway, and it got a little too past its prime. So that one was sacrificed to the garbage gods of Inverhuron. So
the garbage gods. Let's see what the garbage gods give you in return.
Exactly. But yeah, good. It's on Lake Huron, and Lake Huron is freezing cold. Like, I put my feet in, and it was like I was in for maybe 30 seconds, and my feet were aching. They were so cold. But my kids don't seem to care. I was like, whatever, running around in the water up to their necks. They don't care. Little kids don't feel any pain.
Yeah.
And it was just 2 nights. 2 nights and then back in, and man, we were like zonked. Today was like a drag to get through trying to stay awake. It was only 2 days, and then 2 weeks. 2 weeks we're going camping again. So
yeah, I'm going camping again in 3 weeks. So this one we're staying in a house with my family, so it's not really camping, but we still consider it. We'd have to pack like we're camping because we have to bring like our own bedding. No, there's bedding there. We bring our own pillows, but food and all that situation.
Yeah.
And outdoor toys, and there's a pool there, so we bring pool things and life jackets for the kids and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This next one we're going for a week. So the last one was 2 nights. It was like basically a day and a half that we spent there.
Okay.
One full day, and then whatever we were there the night before, and then the morning of, basically. But I mean, we packed that car full. Like, we didn't have any room to spare. So we're going for a week next time, and we have to bring pretty much everything the same. Maybe and more.
And more clothes.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna borrow a utility trailer and just throw some stuff in there because we need some more space. Because I think we're gonna take
bikes and stuff. And
we took bikes this past time too. It's a good thing we did because the kids. I mean, my oldest just wants to play video games the whole time, but we didn't I don't bring them. I have them in case it's raining and they can't do anything but do that. So, but I don't let them know I have it until that situation comes. But he just wants to I just want to play games on the tablet or whatever. Like, no, we're here to camp. We're going to be outside. And then he gets all grumpy. But
mine played the games on the way up. And
yeah.
Even on the way home, we didn't let them.
So we'll see. I mean, once we got them on the bikes and riding, that was better than nothing.
Yeah, we didn't have room for bikes.
So
maybe if we had a hanger off the back or something.
I was going to say, you don't get a bike carrier at the back. So.
Yeah, I have one that hangs off the back, like the ones that touch the back window.
Oh, okay.
Door, and you open the back door and it goes up with it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to put that on the new car.
Just get a hitch one. That's what I have.
I know. I got to do that. I just haven't. Let me know if you see one in the garbage.
We can borrow mine if you want one. I mean, if we're not going at the same time, so. Yeah. I mean, it's not great for 4 bikes. It carries 4 bikes, but not super great. I have to put my oldest son's bike upside down on top of it so it will sit.
Yeah.
Because it's a single bar one, and the triangle on his bike is too small for the thing to fit through. So, and then my youngest is on a tricycle, so I have to figure out how to jerry rig that thing on the side. It's like half hanging on, but I'm like, good enough.
Good enough.
It's not just Velcro holding it; it's actually like strapped in. So
not just Velcro. It's a Velcro strap.
It's a Velcro strap. Yeah. So.
And bungee cords.
But yeah, for the next trip, we got to take kayaks and bikes and more food and coolers, and yeah. It's gonna be a little bit more work. So
Trailer it up.
Trailer it up. It will. I'd rather put more in the trailer than overload the car, right? So.
Yeah, I mentioned camping trailer to the kids a few months ago, and while we were at this camping trip with the cottage, my kids said, "Can we come back?" I'm like, "Well, I kind of want to go on a camping trailer trip. Maybe we rent a trailer or something like that sometime." I'm not planning it. I'm not in a hurry, but in mentioning it to them, they're like, yes, for sure. And then I'm talking to a friend of mine who I haven't seen in a while, in a couple of years. He lives right around the corner from me, and my other coworker, and this guy's a previous coworker. Anyway, we all put a lunch together just to hang out and got talking. And he said they just bought a camping trailer. And I'm like, I've been thinking about renting a camping trailer to go out sometime. He's like, we should all go sometime. He's like, and if you want, you could rent ours from us sometime. We don't that'd be fine with us, right?
Yeah.
Borrow it and pay something. And then I was at a family event. When was that? It was like the week after we did. Yeah, it's Father's Day. We went up for Father's Day, the week after our camping trip. And my brother told me I could borrow his camping trailer without paying him. Just anytime, borrow it. He said his wife even volunteered him to come help me set it up wherever we go.
Just get rid of him.
Yeah. Yep.
That's funny.
So we might have to do that because their trailer has a shower and everything like that.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah.
That's a fancy
and I discovered that my car pulls 5,000 pounds. I was thinking it was 3,500 for some reason, but I mentioned it to him. He's like, no, it's got to be more. And I Googled it right there. I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's 5,000.
Yeah. I was going to say
it's his trailer. 3,000 or 3,500 would be just enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So my parents have a nice trailer as well with a shower and everything in it, in the bathroom, and 2 bunks and dinette, queen size bed. But it's a little heavy. My Subaru won't pull it, so their car barely pulls it. Like it's like at the max because it's good for them because they don't take that much stuff.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh, you can take the trailer. I'm like, but then I have to take your vehicle, and by the time I put my 4 kids and all the stuff we want in it, we're way overweight. Yeah. So what's the point? So, anyways, we've gotten to the
rent a U-Haul truck.
Yeah. I don't know if they let you tow trailers.
But they don't know.
That's true.
They do ask. I've actually looked into a U-Haul for towing a car with a U-Haul before.
Okay.
They have, their website has like a full-on what are you pulling and what are you pulling with and all that stuff.
Yeah,
so they might actually allow it if you just fill it all out. But
yeah, but I don't know if they do. Do they have the electronic brakes to go with it?
They have that. I would bet they have that option because they have trailers that use that.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we'll see.
A lot of their trailers use the kinetic, like where you hit the brakes and it uses the tongue pressure.
Yeah. That's a lot of it.
Maybe they don't, but it's worth checking anyway.
So we'll see. But after like the rainy night and like having to put all the stuff away and it's all wet and having to pull it all out and dry it out and stuff like that. Anyways, on the drive back, my wife was just like on Facebook looking at trailers and trying to figure out, okay, what can we afford? Or can we do? Like she's wanted a camping trailer forever. So
me too.
But anyways, I found one today for a really good price, and I messaged the guy, but I haven't heard back anything yet, so we'll see. But then this complicates everything because then I have to get a new vehicle to tow it, and I have to find a place to store it, and I have to, it's just like a thing. So I don't know. It's just kind of like putting out feelers right now to see what's what.
We almost
and I have 2 trailers. I have 2 trailers already that I can borrow for free, but
but you can't tow them, so you should just get the vehicle and use your parents' trailer then.
Yeah, I should. But I have to get a vehicle.
Yeah, but that's better than getting a vehicle and a trailer.
I know,
because trailers went up in price, right? Didn't they?
Actually, the bubble has burst now. Everyone's selling their COVID trailers now, so they're pretty affordable now. Yeah.
Okay. My brother said he went to go buy a used one, and it was like, I think he said 14,000. Something like that. And he said if he went to buy a brand new one, it was 16. So he just went and bought a brand new one instead.
Yeah. When was that though?
I think it was last year or 2 years.
Yeah. Last year the prices were still up, but this year the prices have come down from what I've seen anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, my price range is not that high either. So
no, I wouldn't bet on that either, but yeah, he went with brand new. So it makes some sense.
Yeah.
These beer commercials. 1990s beer commercials on above me. 50? Do you remember 50? Isn't it Labatt?
Labatt 50, maybe?
I think so. Anyway, Labatt's Canadian. No Americans know what we're talking about, but
They might. I think some people know Labatt down there.
maybe.
Maybe. Well, I didn't buy a tent trailer, but I did buy something else.
Yeah.
I bought a mini bike.
Yes, I did know about that. Speaking of which, I'm waiting for a date from you.
I know. I'm trying to figure out my dates. My
parents
dates.
just told me that they just fixed the four-wheeler. They're whatever you want to call it, side by side. The clutch or the what was it? The belt, the main belt, and the transmission went. So they just fixed that last week. So it's good to go.
Okay.
It left them stranded on the side of the road.
Oh, geez. That's not good.
Yeah. But my uncle went and got them because, I mean, he's retired and he likes fun projects like that. So my dad's retired too. So that's why they were going for the drive in the middle of the week. I think my mom's still, she works from home, but she's a hairdresser. So her hours are very flexible.
Whenever she needs to. Yeah.
Yeah.
So mini bike. I got a Coleman BT 200X, which is the one I've been looking for. Now, this has been a bit of a journey to get this because I've been watching.
I just want to say BT stands for Bluetooth, right?
I guess, sure.
Yeah, it's Bluetooth controlled.
So obviously I've wanted a mini bike for years, like going on 10 years now. So I finally managed to get one. I have the frame of one and everything at my parents' house, but it's not usable right now. But when I saw this design of this one, like the frame geometry and stuff and the way that sits and the headlight on it, I was like, that's the one I want. So I've been waiting for a good deal for that to pop up. And every time they pop up, I either don't have the cash available to get it, or it's too far away, or it's too expensive. There's just multitude of options or things that gets in my way. Anyways, I was in talks with a guy in Brampton, and I was in line to get it the weekend of the Barrie Game Exchange. So when you came to help, we'll get to the Barrie Game Exchange later. Don't worry. We'll get to that. We'll talk about that after.
But I write it down. I have a bunch of things written down. That's not one.
How did you forget that?
I forgot. I meant to write it down like 10 times.
Anyways, you came to help me take some stuff because I took my father-in-law's Ridgeline again.
Yep. Part
of my reasoning for asking for the Ridgeline, and then once I saw how much space you could put in your Highlander, I was like, if this guy gets back to me, I can put more Ridgeline stuff into your Highlander. I'll free up the bed in the Ridgeline, and I can pick up the mini bike on the way back from Barrie. I didn't tell anybody this because I wanted to be surprised until I got it. I didn't even tell my wife that I wanted to get this. I was just going to show up at the house with it. This was my plan. It didn't work out.
You're dead.
Suddenly there's no more podcasts. I'm just dead.
There's no more Josh. She calls me up and says, you can have all this stuff.
She probably would. Anyways.
My number.
Yeah. So
just in case.
I messaged this guy, and I found him on Kijiji, and this guy would take like a day to get back to me, a day or more. So I'm like, hey, is this available? A day later, yes, it is.
I'm guessing an older guy.
I don't think so. I think he's just like, he was selling Nike shoes and some other things. It was just yeah. I think he just wasn't very attentive to Kijiji. Kijiji takes longer for like your notifications to pop up sometimes, I've noticed.
Sometimes.
So maybe he didn't have it set up properly, or he was waiting for an email to come and it got stuck in a spam folder. I don't know. There's a bunch of reasons why it wouldn't have worked. But later on, it was 2 or 3 days into this conversation that I was basically like, hey, can you send me your phone number so I can text you or call you? We can speed up this process because I can't wait a day for you to answer me one question.
Did you say that much or not?
No, I was just like, let's speed this up. I didn't want to push him too far because I was just like, anyways. And it was more expensive. Like I was gonna pay like he wanted $980 for that one, and I said, would you take $900 for it? Because I've seen ones going for $800 and $850, even more than that, and they were selling quickly, and I couldn't even get a hold of one. So I was just like, well, maybe $900 is about right. I figured with the money from Barrie, I could splurge a little bit. I could make it work. So
With
he said,
confidential later.
yeah. So he agreed to 900, but then he wouldn't give me his number and he wouldn't give me his address for days. And then even until like the day of Barry, which on the Sunday, I messaged him like 2 days before, and then when I was at Barry at the table, he messaged me to say, "Oh hey, I'm away this weekend, so it'll have to be next weekend." I'm like, "Why couldn't you have told me this 2 days ago?" Like, I wouldn't have made all these like hypothetical plans, like in case something happened, or anyways, kind of ticked me off.
Too hard, but like it's
I
not
know.
like you rented a trailer for it, for example.
No,
That
I
would
didn't.
suck.
Yeah, it was just a little added planning in my head of trying to work things how things would work out.
Yeah.
But anyways, didn't work out. I was like, okay, I can come Saturday because the Sunday was Father's Day. So I was like, I'll come Saturday. Just let me know. Monday comes around. Now in my head, I'm like, okay, I have to make another excuse to go out to Brampton. I knew he was in Brampton. He didn't tell me he was in Brampton, but Kijiji said he was in Brampton.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I got to make an excuse to get out there. I'm like, I could fabricate this whole thing. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to tell my wife, listen, I've made this money from these game shows. It's something I really want. I've always wanted this. And I went through like, I listed out all these reasons in my head, right? Okay, I'm going to say this, I always wanted it. I think of all the memories we can make, with the
I
kids
don't know
and
what
us.
you're talking about. I've never done this exact same thing with my wife before.
Like, I lawyered this whole thing in my head. I had it all planned out. I'm just like, all right, yeah. And then like last thing, I was like, okay, she's been wanting a new toilet for upstairs since we moved in. So my last closing argument was going to be like, all right, listen, if you let me get this, we'll buy a new toilet for upstairs, right? Like my last bargaining chip. I didn't even get there. I was just like, hey, I want a mini bike. And she's like, okay. I was like, what? Well, okay, let me.
Speech written.
I had this whole speech. I'm like, let me read you my speech anyway, because I need to talk about this. Like,
she's like, I'll let you get a second one if you don't read me the speech.
Anyways, so I still promise to get her a toilet upstairs, regardless. So we'll do that.
Because the toilet's just for her, not for you at all.
Not for me, no. Yeah.
Get a bidet while you're at it.
Okay. Well, it's a fancy toilet. Anyways,
bidet, they're easy.
Anyways, so after she agreed, I was like, okay, perfect. I don't have to hide this anymore. I can just grab it and go, and we'll be all good. Anyways, I look at my Kijiji messages to like message this guy back and say, hey, like, let's do it. And then all of a sudden, I get a notification from Kijiji saying this item is no longer available. He's not talking to me. So I message him quickly. I'm like, hey, is your bike still available? What's going on? I have a notification saying it's not. So, and then he proceeds to just not answer me.
Good. Doesn't need
I was like, okay, so great. It's gone. Now I have to find another one. It took me forever to find this one.
Yeah.
So I'm back on Kijiji, and then I see one was posted the day before. It's the same distance the other way toward London.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit further. And it's $750. So it's even cheaper.
Nice.
So I was just like, and it's the orange one.
Upgrades or whatever. Or...
No, it's actually got less. I mean, the headlight's broken on it, and it needs an oil change, and it's got a crack in the fender. That's about it. So I'm like, whatever. I don't really care about that stuff. So anyways, messaged him, and he was like, yep, right away. Here you go. And I was going to like e-transfer him money to hold it, because right away he's just like, some more people are asking me about it. I'm like, please, I will e-transfer you. Please hold it. I will be there on Saturday. He's like, okay, yeah, no worries. And then he started messaging me saying, somebody offered me $100 more, but I told him that I got someone coming on Saturday, so if you can come on Saturday for $750. Like, he was honest with his word, so I was very thankful for that. So
could have easily said he wanted more. Could have easily just sold it to the guy and not answered you.
Exactly.
Yep.
So
we've all been there, or
we've all been there.
Not everybody else, but you and I have definitely been there.
Yes,
usually
absolutely.
On the selling side.
And the buying side. So
yeah, I'm expecting to be on the buying side in about an hour when I check my phone, because I just made an offer to somebody posted Tears of the Kingdom for $60.
Oh, that's a good deal.
So
why you don't even like that game?
Or at 1:00.
You don't even like it?
My son wants it so
Oh,
bad.
okay. Yeah. Well, he
So I might
should.
just hold on to it until his birthday, which we already have stuff for his birthday, as you know.
Yes.
But I might just hold on to it for him to use his birthday money to buy off of me for what I pay for it.
Oh, okay.
That's my thought, anyway. Because he's gonna get birthday money, I'm sure.
Of course. Yeah.
He always does, at least from my mom, but we'll see. And if
We'll
not,
see.
I just have the game and he can play it. But I'd rather him learn to spend his money on something he really wanted and get that,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
that
for
reward for saving his money and stuff, instead of buying Fortnite skins and
Damn Fortnite.
digital stuff that goes away.
Well, anyways, I took my father-in-law and I hooked up the trailer and I drove out to Dutton. Yeah. Dutton.
That sounds like somewhere near London, but
There's nothing in Dutton. That's what that's the saying apparently. Anyways, yep, got it. I handed the guy the money. He was a very nice, down to earth guy. His son was it was his son's. He rode it for a couple of times. Then he upgraded to a dirt bike and he didn't want the mini bike anymore. So
nice.
took it for a rip down the street and brought it back. And
Past London.
it's past London, yeah.
I was picturing before London, but
It's about an hour and a half drive. So
okay, that's cool. Just curious.
yeah,
To know where these small towns are.
Lots of fun. Lots of fun on that thing. Came back, rode it around.
Rode it?
Okay. I've been riding. It's been great. The other day I took I took my kids on, like, they can sit in front of me. There's a little bit of room. They can put their feet on the gas tank underneath and
right. Oh, on the back of the gas tank. Okay.
yeah. So then they we took, and it just took kind of rounds around our condo complex here. It just sounds like a lawnmower. Like, it's not even that loud. So I don't think it really bothers anybody.
Yeah.
So anyways, took them both for rides. And then the other day I took my my son and I went out for a ride. I forget what day it was. Anyways, he's got his electric dirt bike, which I broke, kind of. I was trying to upgrade the batteries on it, and the batteries that I put in it didn't work. They worked on the power wheels, but they won't work in the dirt bike. So, but I had to cut the wires off the original batteries, so I couldn't put them back on. So I'm like, oh, great, I broke this. He's going to be mad at me about this. So I had to buy new batteries from Amazon, put those in, soldered them on, new connections, and it works fine. So like, oof, thank goodness. I fixed it. But these batteries last a lot longer. So instead of like 15 minutes, we get like 45 out of it.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, hey, get on your dirt bike and I'll be on the mini bike. So we just tooting around up and down the street, went all the way around through the neighborhood, and he's got a dirt bike helmet on, and you know, everyone laughs, everyone gives us thumbs up and waving, and they think it's great. And then we came back home and my littlest came out. I want to go for a ride. So, all right, get back on your dirt bike. And I took the youngest, he sits in front, and the three of us just toot around. I had smiling ear to ear. I was having such a great time. I don't know if they were having fun, but I was having fun. So
I'm just waiting for you to say it. I got a letter from the condo board.
No, nothing yet. Nothing bad has happened. I got close today. I got close to something bad happened today. So it's kind of raining out today. It's kind of on and off.
Yep.
Anyways, I got home from work early. My youngest was home sick with my wife. Well, sick-ish, not great. Not like really sick, just a snotty nose, whatever. Anyways, he's been on the screens all day, and she was like, can you go do something with him so he's not looking at a screen for the whole day? So I was like, hey, bud, you want to go for a motorbike ride? Oh, yeah, I want to go for a motorbike ride. So I hopped him on, and away we went. We went out. I think we were gone for like 45 minutes to an hour. We went up through the neighborhood. We went up through like a park where there's like bumps, like BMX bumps. We went on those.
Okay.
Across the street. We went across the university into like the natural area and rode through the park, over the bridge and stuff. And yeah, came back. We were gone for quite a while. And yeah, he had a great time. And then it was time to go pick up my son from school. I'm like, I'm going to take the mini bike to school. I'm going to go pick him up on the mini bike. So I was riding down the main street on my mini bike, and I was thinking, I strapped a helmet to the back for him, and I was coming up to the main road, and I see a cop pulling out on the street on the main road. And I'm like, oh, and they looked right at me. And I was like, and I kind of stopped and looked at them, and then they just kept driving right past. They didn't care.
Have you checked what you're allowed yet?
I'm technically not allowed to ride it on the street or on the sidewalk because it's, yeah. but I'm being very I'm not ripping around. I'm not like full throttling around neighborhood. I'm just kind of going idle speed.
Are you wearing a helmet?
I'm wearing a full helmet. My kid's wearing a motorcycle helmet. Again, we're not being douchebags about it. If we're riding on the sidewalk and someone's on the sidewalk, I move over. I'm not supposed to be on the sidewalk. So I go onto the road, or I go onto it's got off-road tires on it. So I'm riding on the grass on the boulevard and whatever. And
you're not pedaling. So
yeah,
grass is easy enough.
Easy. So it's been a lot of fun. Even today, when I had my youngest, like we're going to I was on like a footpath or a bike path, and a lot of people, thumbs ups and high fives, and everyone thinks it's cool. So again, I'm not being a dick about it. I'm not revving it. I'm not going stupid fast. It doesn't go that fast. It goes 30 kilometers an hour at max. So it's some of those e-scooters go faster than that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
you should take your old one and convert it into an e-scooter.
I do want to,
and then sell it to me. What? I mentioned to my wife that you got one.
Okay.
And she said, "Oh, that would work good for you going to work." I'm like, technically I can't, but I'm glad you're thinking that way.
You should just say, yes. Yes, it would.
You could sell your car and get one of those. I'm like, well, wintertime.
It's got off-road tires, put chains on it.
Yeah, but I don't want to drive that in the winter. Not with other cars in the road. I don't trust other cars is the problem.
Yeah, I know.
Otherwise, I'd have a dirt bike already for doing that. Although I don't think you can install subwoofers in a dirt bike very easily.
You could try. I'm sure someone has.
Try. I guarantee there's a picture out there or a couple.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for you to get one, and we'll go. I know we're doing the mule thing, but
we'll do the mule. We'll do the mule. My parents side by side. So you tell me a weekend, and we will go.
So here's the thing, though.
Preferably planning further ahead than like the next week.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Have you met me? This is not.
Maybe I should talk to your wife and get it planned with her.
So the only thing,
great excuse. I mean, my birthday is the next excuse we should try to use.
True. The only thing we got to keep in mind is like this thing is not great for going long distances at high speeds.
Yeah, for sure.
So
that's my plan is to go the long distance with the mule with yours in the back.
Okay.
Strap yours down or standing up. I don't care.
Whatever. Yeah.
Matter. We go the long distance from my parents' place to that other town, and then we unload it in where there's more trail type places we can go.
Okay.
Like on my trip, I did go across what was a 4-wheeler trail and snowmobile trail in the winter.
Yeah.
But I don't think I was supposed to be on there without a permit for that specific trail.
Yeah.
But I wasn't on it for too long, so I don't think it's a big deal, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of other 4-wheelers around there. I wish I would have followed that group of guys who had like 3 huge modified side-by-sides to figure out where they were going. It would have been really nice to know where they were going so I could put on a map. But I do have a map already made of interesting places around that with a couple that I didn't go to as well.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, those would be fun.
Worst case, we put the mini bike up in the back of the mule and go for a ride. Like the mule has like a pickup truck back on it.
Yeah.
And it's extendable because it's a 6-seater, but you can fold out that pickup truck back into the rear seats and it makes the back bigger.
Okay.
So the mini bike would fit back there, no problem.
Yeah.
You could probably fit 2 back there.
I mean, we're just waiting, Derek. We're just waiting
for you to finish building your other one. Yeah, I know. Put a kayak on the roof. We are
set,
fully able to go anywhere.
I'll be honest though, I have been looking at a second mini bike, just a little one though, because I think I had actually when I picked up my oldest from school today, we took the long way back home, and I was like hiding under trees because it was raining sporadically in between our. I was like, I didn't want him to get soaking wet, so we'd run up to a tree and hide underneath. Anyways, on the way back, we came a back way, and I was just like, here. And I took his hand because he's been riding his electric dirt bike. Yeah. He knows how to balance and how the throttle works and stuff.
Yep.
So I'm like, here, you try it. It's a little hard for him to pull, but I had him. He was pulling it.
Grip?
It's a grip, yeah.
Thumb? Okay.
Grip, yeah, like a regular motorbike, and yeah, just he was gripping it and going and. He was like, no, I don't want to drive it by myself. I'm like, no, I'll help you. But so I was still holding onto the handlebars, but I was letting him like use the throttle just to, get him kind of used to modulating gas and not break anything yet. But
when I was in grade 2, I think it was, we had a 50cc like Honda mini bike that we used to take up and down the driveway all the time.
Yeah.
Like I learned way back then, and it was standard. It wasn't automatic.
Yeah.
It had gears. You had to shift.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see. So this one is it's got a 200cc single cylinder, basically a lawnmower engine. There's a lot of mods to do it to make it faster. But you know, for what I'm doing, I kind of like that it's underpowered at this point, or not too fast, because I don't get myself in trouble. and the thought is like kids could drive it and also not get into trouble. If I modify it, then it gets, I don't feel great about
to undo that easily, or the old Honda tricycles, whatever you want to call them, 3-wheelers used to have a high and low range switch.
Okay.
And that's how people would usually keep kids from going crazy, is put it in low range and don't let them change it, and they're not going to go too fast.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. It's fun. My dad came over, my dad took the kids for a ride on it, and so it's fun. Even my wife took it for a very short ride when I first got it, but she hasn't driven it yet since.
No.
But
you need to look at your calendar and pick a weekend before all the nice weekends are gone or booked up.
Yeah. I will do that.
I'll be waiting.
For sure.
Already been waiting a week.
I've been busy, man. I've been scrambling for a camping trip.
And now you'll be scrambling for another one.
I know. In 2 weeks, scrambling again.
Me too.
I've been trying to think of like, maybe I could take my mini bike to campgrounds, but I don't think campgrounds will like that very much.
Not usually.
It's funny that everyone
call them ahead and ask, but they'll usually say no.
I usually like to ask for forgiveness and permission. That's why I was just going to buy a bike and bring it to my house. And
campground I was at, there was tons of people that had golf carts.
Yeah.
And there was a couple 4-wheelers or side-by-sides that they had for, like, they used a side-by-side for picking up garbage. They had a side-by-side for picking up, dropping off wood.
Yeah.
Firewood.
But yeah. Well, even like provincial parks, they have side-by-sides going around and stuff like that. But I think this is probably just a little bit louder. It sounds like a lawnmower. It's a little bit louder than a side-by-side.
Yeah.
So.
Gotcha.
Especially when you start revving it out.
Revving it out,
yeah.
That's not what it sounded like you said. Okay, moving on. So, I bought a PS4 Pro.
Okay, yeah.
That already?
How's that going?
About on here.
No, I think that happened after.
I've barely used it, but my son's used it for some Fortnite.
Okay,
but it works
good. Good use of Pro.
Good price. Like I said, the guy messaged, or when I got there, the guy had it in the box, and he met me downstairs of his apartment. So I was kind of leery, like, oh great, is it gonna be a box of bricks? Or like maybe it doesn't fire up or something like that. And he was so nervous, his hand was shaking. I'm just like, I can't tell if this guy's scamming me or what's going on. But it looked like everything was in good condition. The pictures were great. He looked trustworthy. He responded good and all that stuff. And I know where he lives, unless this isn't where he lives. So I took it home and hooked it up, and it was exactly what I hoped for, right? It had Sonic Frontiers came with it. The PS5 headphones came with it.
Okay, yeah.
I have those, the Sony PS5 headphones. And then Final Fantasy VII Remake was also with it, which I sold at Barry. So,
nice.
Yeah. My son is loving Sonic Frontiers, even though he hasn't played in a bit now. But the first week I had it, he was playing it all the time. He's like, I think I beat it. He's like, but there's another boss. I'm like, so you didn't beat it.
That's called World 1.
Yeah, that's what I think happened. Is he beat World 1. He knows better. Cool. He's just not used to a Sonic game. He's used to a Mario game where it shows you an overworld, probably. That's my guess. Or even just a more advanced game. Like, yeah. So anyway, I sold my original, sorry, not original, but my PS4 Slim at Barry as well.
Yeah.
So that was successful on Josh's table.
Yeah, let's talk about Barry here, seeing as yeah, Derek comes up and sells. He probably made just as much money as I did.
Not as much.
That was so funny. I think
I
you
did
sold.
sell pretty much everything I
I'm
brought,
gonna say
though.
you sold pretty
2
much
games I
everything.
think didn't, right? 2 didn't?
Yeah, that one PS1 game that didn't sell, and what else?
And then the one Switch game? Switch game didn't sell, right? Did it?
I
No, it
don't know.
did.
I
Bikini
thought it
Bottom.
sold. I thought that one sold.
Yeah, it did. What was the other thing? I guess maybe that was it. I don't remember, but I brought like 4 games and 2 consoles, and they all sold, including the expensive game that I picked up at a garage sale the day before.
I know. Perfect.
That was a great one. So I didn't talk about that, I guess, either.
No, you didn't. Yeah.
So it was what was it called again? Monkey Bones, right?
Skull
Monkey
Monkeys.
Bones? Skull Monkeys, that's the one. I just recognized the cover of it, and I saw it at this garage sale. I came up to the garage sale. Actually, my wife went to the garage sale first by herself, because sometimes we'll do that. We'll pull up to a garage sale. I'll be like, "Oh, this looks like woman's stuff, like the kind of stuff you'd like home decor and glassware and stuff like that." It's nothing here for me. I'll just stay in the car. So she goes, and she knows to take a look for me. I know to take a look for her when it's guy stuff.
Yeah.
And then we'll report back and tell. And she said, so there were some games, but I think it was just all sports stuff. It was all PS2. I'm like, well, I don't know. I said, like, what? And she's like, well, I think there was like hockey and maybe a skateboarding one. And I'm like, okay, skateboarding, I don't consider sports really. And there's some that can have some value. I'll go take a look myself. So I get out of the car, go take a look, and I come across some PS1 and PS2 games, PS2 console, and I'm sorting through them. And there's Skull Monkeys, which I'm like, I recognize this game has some real value. Like, for garage sale. It's not like I'd go, sell my house over it, but
Yeah.
it's like $100 game Canadian, 75 American complete, or 73, whatever. And then they had a couple other games, and the second one I picked up, I forget what it was now, but it was a $30, $35 game. So it was, I asked them how much they wanted for them. They said, I don't know, $5 each, or $5 for both, I think is what it came out to. Can't remember if I made that offer, if she did. Maybe she said $3 each. And I said, would you take 5 for both? Because of course that's a lot easier change than you get a loony. So I gave her $5 and I was happy. So then I looked up the game afterward, and I'm like, yep, I was right. My theory was, or my suspicion was correct, that it was valuable. The other one I had looked up in the car, but I hadn't. Yeah, how did I do that? No, I looked up in the car when I got back. No, I looked up the car. I looked it up when I was there at the garage sale. Actually, the
Thrasher one.
Both of them. I looked up both of them. Yes, Thrasher was the other game. I looked them both up while I was at the garage sale. I don't usually do that. I usually will wait or go back to the car and then come back, but I'm just like, screw it. They don't know. I could be checking what games I have at home, which I have done plenty of times.
Yeah.
So I just brought out my phone and looked, and it wasn't too hard to look up the like four of the 10 games they had there, to ones that I'm like, I'm not familiar. Right. So anyway, it was good. They were happy to see the games go, and I was happy to buy them. And then sold the one at Barrie.
And then also see it go. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Go and see it go for more.
Nice.
Convenient that it was Barrie the next day. Otherwise, I would have been sitting on it for a while. But
it's true.
Posted locally or something. But
yeah. And the guy who wanted it didn't even argue your price. He just straight up, here's money.
And I priced it low on purpose because of that. But I wanted it just to go. I didn't want to sit on it for a while.
Yeah.
Especially because I sold all my game inventory.
Thanks for that.
I hope it made you plenty of money.
We'll see. I don't know. I still have to balance all the sheets out. Not that I ever will, but
you never will.
I never will.
Yeah, you won't.
I sold some stuff from your stack, so I'm sure it will pay off in the long run for sure.
Yeah, when you open a store.
Yeah. So yeah, Barrie, I had 8 tables, which is the most tables I've ever had.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot of tables.
That's more than we've ever had combined with like 6 people.
Yeah, I think that's even like. Yeah, I think your analogy is better. I was gonna say that's more than like Cartridge Club tables that we've had in general, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think we had 6 tables when it was all Cartridge Club people. Maybe somebody else paid their own.
Maybe,
on top of that or something, but
it's greater or equal to.
And you had them full.
Yeah, and I could have done another one if I wanted to, right? Like
in terms of stuff, yeah.
So
you could have had one just for Django. I found the Django console was less noticed this time than last time, even with that giant poster you had.
I figured the giant poster would have helped.
Draw attention.
That's the reason I got it.
almost
But
think people thought it was a real contest, like a current contest or something.
oh, maybe, yeah. So
I wouldn't
anyway, but the people who asked about it were way more interested in it, though, I think. So
Yeah. That could
But-
just be the crowd at Barrie.
that's true. We'll try again at Toronto and see if that helps.
I talked to Good Time Games today,
Mm-hmm.
which there's a story about that. But I went to Good Time Games today and talked to them, and he said they did not do well in Barrie. They will not be going again.
Good Time Games, the one down the street from my house.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were at Barrie. I didn't see them.
They were at the far back corner, or just off to the side of the corner.
Huh.
The owner wasn't there. It was the ponytail guy that was there.
Okay, yeah.
You know him at all?
Yeah, I do.
So yeah, it's more story to that. But I talked to them today, and they said that there's no chance they're gonna go again. It wasn't worth it. It wasn't even worth them driving up there.
Huh.
They said they've been to shows in Kitchener and Guelph. So I guess Brody's in Guelph,
Yeah.
which is the game exchange or whatever, game swap. And then I think they said London, maybe they'd been before too. I can't remember, but they said the other shows are just more worth it for them than that was.
Sure.
I told them about the Toronto show.
I was just saying, tell them
I don't know if
Toronto.
they're gonna
Toronto's
consider it, but he didn't sound interested. I was talking to the owner. He didn't sound very interested.
yeah.
Yeah.
Toronto is definitely, I think, the show to try anyway.
And it could be their location. They were way at the back corner. Maybe that has something to do with it. Oh, he also said they brought their resurfacer and they wanted to use it, but they said that the organizers couldn't arrange them power. I said we had power on our side, but I mean we've been going for years and we always have the same spot, so we know that there's power there.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but they were hoping to use their resurfacer and resurface discs for people, I guess.
Yeah, to try and that would be a good service to have there for sure.
Yeah.
So
Assuming people know that it's there.
yeah, you got to put a sign out or something up front or whatever,
Yeah,
or
for
put
sure.
it right on the table so everyone can see it. And
Yeah. Not everybody knows what those are either, but still, they had a sign, maybe even a sign on the table at the hanging down on the table or something like that. But
yeah,
either way, I would think it would be a good service for that. Even if the vendors would come get their discs fixed, but
yeah, I would have taken a couple over there maybe.
a lot of them that need to fix their discs before they sell them.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, anyways, I had enough people. I had 6 people for 8 tables.
Yeah.
So I had you and Cynthia, and then Troy, myself, and then my 2 friends, Craig and Daryl. Uncle Craig, as my kids call him.
Kids. Yeah.
Yeah. Uncle Craig, and then my friend Daryl. So I stuck Daryl and Craig down at the cheapy end because I know that they're
less familiar with stuff.
They're less familiar with like my product and the process and stuff. Craig has been like a market guy forever. He sells at the local farmers markets and stuff. He's been doing that since he was in high school.
You can say that,
So he's familiar with that side of it, but not the game side of it. He's a gamer, but he's never been to something like this.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was good. I sold, I made just over $3,000. So good. It was a good show for a Barrie show. It was good for me.
Mhm.
It's the most money I've made at a Barrie show. Mind you, most tables. Yeah. I think that had a lot to do with it. So,
But also the most inventory you've ever taken to a Barrie show.
That's true. So I mean, if you have, like I've said, if you have one table of stuff, you're consequently going to sell less stuff. You only have one table. So, what else? I had 2 really big sales within either the last 10 minutes of the show to 10 minutes after the show. So
I don't think I knew about them at all.
Well, I sold Earthbound.
Okay, you did tell me about that. Yeah.
I was like, I think I sold that one. I sold it for 15 under what I had it listed for. I had it for $450. I think I sold it for $435.
Yeah.
So
that's fine.
Whatever. That's fine. And then my Outrun 2006 for Xbox that I've had at several conventions. I mean, I've been taking Earthbound around too, but yeah, a guy came up and wanted Earthbound. He saw it earlier in the day, and then like pretty much as we were packing up, he was like, "Okay, I'll take it."
Because he
came back
find a better deal anywhere.
Yeah, and I still knocked like whatever $15 or $20 off of it, because the manual wasn't in perfect condition. I'm like, yeah, but none of them are. Let's be honest.
Right?
And if it was, it would have been priced way higher. But whatever, $20 to have it gone, and
Whatever.
yeah, not too worried
Not to
about
worry
it.
about it anymore.
Yeah,
It's out of your hands at least.
yeah. So, and I already have that game ripped to my Xbox, so I can play it if I want to. And I have it on PSP as well, and whatever.
You put on your modified mini NES or SNES mini.
No, that the original Xbox.
No, you said Earthbound, right?
Oh, and Earthbound, yeah, it's on my SNES
Yeah,
Mini as
I
well.
thought you meant,
Sorry,
I thought you were saying all the places where you have Earthbound. Playable.
no, I was talking about the Outrun.
Oh, the Outrun. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, Earthbound is way easier to emulate probably than Outrun.
But modified Xbox, yeah.
Yeah, modified Xbox, it works. So,
Which was one of the things I sold at the show. I sold
Perfect.
mine too cheap, though. I sold it too cheap. I should have sold it for like double, but maybe it wouldn't have sold then. I don't know.
next time, put them out. Start making some more.
I don't have any more working ones.
Oh, you got to make a working one.
Yeah, that requires time I don't have.
Well, if you spent less time with VHS tapes, then you might.
Possibly. It doesn't actually take that much time to VHS tapes. It would take me longer to get working Xbox than it does to record or to edit 3 hours of VHS tape.
True, but you might make more money at it though.
Yeah, the VHS tapes aren't making me any money. I don't know. It's
There's
just
a difference.
Yeah.
So, and I will say, so this is also the first show where I had my Square reader, so I could take debit and credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
And that alone, so it was like a $60 investment that I had to pay for the NFC reader.
Mm-hmm.
And it also has a chip. You can put chip in it as well. That paid for itself almost instantly. So of all of my sales, a third of it was on debit or credit. So just because it made things so much easier. And I did find when there was a more expensive item, people were more willing to pull out a card and pay for it than just pull out their cash. So it is encouraging people to spend higher amounts of money.
Yeah.
So
it's good.
I'm curious to see
percentage.
Yeah. I do pay percentage. I pay percentage for credit cards and I pay just a flat fee for debit. So it's 10 cents per debit transaction, regardless of the amount.
Which isn't bad at all.
That's not bad at all. And then it's 2.65% of any credit card charge.
That's enough.
It's not that much. So say for the entire day, I made $1,100 in sales on credit cards or debit on my Square reader. I did $1,100. I paid $20 in fees for the whole day.
Okay. Yeah, that's not bad.
No. And the money went in the next day. They hold it for less than 24 hours and it's in.
That's good.
So yeah, I'm very happy with it. I'm very curious to see what it will do at Toronto because everybody wanted to pay with card.
Yep.
And it made things way easier. It was just like, oh, you want to pay? Here you go. Boom, done.
Yeah, it was definitely easier than e-transfer. E-transfer slows things down a lot.
Yeah.
Ties up a lot of your time.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So you do the next Toronto show?
I'm doing the Toronto show. I haven't booked tables yet, but I need to kind of figure out what I'm doing. And I have a little bit of time to.
You kind of need to check your inventory again and see how much room you need.
Yeah. I mean, I'll probably just do 5 tables again. That was the easiest.
Yeah.
So still got some Cars TVs to sell.
Should have sold that one. Should have just taken his offer.
Nah.
Get rid of it. Needs to be gone. At least one of them needs to go.
I know.
You had a lot of people interested and a lot of people looking, people taking pictures.
Even the people who said they were interested though, and they were going to come back. Even the guy who came back to give me an offer never gave me an offer.
That guy that I said he already had one and he wanted a second one.
I think so, or whatever, or he had to check with his wife or whatever.
Yeah.
And he came back and talked to me, and he's just like, "Oh, hey, what could you do on the Cars TV?" And I said, "Well, what would you offer?" Well, I don't think that's a bad response. Like,
it's not. I hate when people do that to me, though.
But I have a price on it, and now you want to give me some. Oh, so okay, let's start. Don't ask me for a discount right away. Just give me a number, and then we can go from there.
He didn't even respond with a number.
No, he didn't even respond to the number. He's just like, oh, you have an Xbox controller, a Duke. I need a Duke controller. So he bought a Duke controller. He's like, okay, and then I'll be back later. And he left, and he never came back. I was like, what? You give me an offer at least.
Nope.
So, anyways,
I'm 180 done.
I would have. But that okay. The other offer I had was 120. That's pretty low.
But you should have just got rid of it.
I met him. I went down to like what 140. I went down to 140.
Yeah.
And he still didn't. I was like, I can't. Ugh.
You can't.
I already did $60 off.
Yeah, you didn't want to.
I didn't want to. I get way more attention at the table.
I don't
with
want to
that.
carry that thing again.
You don't have to. I carry it.
The truck moment in my car that last all the way back, but
yeah, possibly. But
no, definitely. I almost broke it. I was worried.
Okay,
I pinned it to one corner to go, and I'm just like, oh, but bins just shifted right on top of that TV.
Perfect.
But nothing happened. So
no, we're all good. We're all good.
It was laying down, but I was worried that the bins squished it, break some plastic off or something. But no, it was fine.
It's all good. So yeah, that was Barry. It was good. It was a good show for me. So I can't speak for anybody else. Went for some Chuck's Roadhouse afterwards.
Yep.
Got to debrief and catch up with everybody. And James showed up as well, which was nice. Yep. Good to check up with him.
I gave him his game finally. I had an MVS game for him for the last, I don't know how long.
You've had it for a long time.
It's been a long time. It's been, there it is, Metal Slug since December.
I was gonna say it felt like at least a year, but I guess it was not long.
6 months, yeah. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
2022. Yeah, just making sure it wasn't 2021. No, it's 2022. Yeah. At Barry, I bought myself something.
Okay.
So you remember how I bought an N64 mod chip?
Yeah. And then you bricked your N64?
Then I tried to install it and bricked my N64. So then I started looking around and seeing what other N64s are out there that would do the job. And I found Andy, the Retro Shinobi guy.
Okay.
You know him? He's a reseller in KW.
Okay.
Got big stretcher earrings. Do you remember that guy?
I think so, yeah.
Anyway, so he used to work with my brother-in-law. So I first met him at Barry because my brother-in-law knew him. And I've just known him ever since then because I see his ads all the time. And so he had a RGB modded N64 with SCART out. And he wanted 300, I think, for 350 for it. And I talked to him about it for a bit, just like, oh, what does it need and all that kind of stuff. Like, and I said, I don't need the expansion pack. I already have one. Mm-hmm. So he put in a regular, jumper pack and knocked it down to 250.
Okay.
I'm like, that's probably pretty damn tempting. I might have to do that. So I just want to get an N64 that has the best possible video output now, because I have an N64 EverDrive and I wanted to be like, okay, that's done now, right?
Yeah.
64 is the best I'm going to have. The only thing I might want to do is like wireless controllers at some point, because they have the wireless brawler 64s and stuff, but that's future problems. So if I get this SCART one, I'll need something that does SCART input.
Yeah.
So a few weeks ago, I had picked up that Retro Tank, but it doesn't do SCART. But it does do component in and outputs as HDMI. And I thought, okay, that'll be for my Xbox and anything else that I have that's component, which will be my Wii, Xbox, and PS2.
Okay.
So those will go through the Retro Tank. So I thought, okay, well, I have a save search for OSSC and FrameMeister in KW. The day I was talking to Andy about the OSS or about the N64, an OSSC opens, which is open source scan converter. For anybody who doesn't know, it's like a FrameMeister, but like an open source cheaper version of the FrameMeister. So, and for anyone who doesn't know what a FrameMeister is, It takes RGB or component input or composite or S-video or VGA and upscales it to HDMI with tons of options. So the OSSC does similar, but it's just like hey, the FrameMeister's out of stock and too expensive. I'll get an OSSC. So I picked up the OSSC for a good price. I forget how much it was now. 150? I can't remember. It was a good price anyway in town. It's on my spreadsheet. And same with the RetroTink. I picked it up for a good price in town as well. That one might have been like eBay minus shipping or something like that. But I've got the OSSC 135 I got it for, which I believe is a pretty damn good price. And then because I have a problem, an eBay notification popped up the next day for a FrameMeister.
Jeez.
I've always wanted a FrameMeister. Everybody always wants a FrameMeister.
I've always wanted one. This sounds familiar.
And they sell for like $550 now. But this person listed it for $320 plus at best offer. I think it was.
Oh wow.
I offered him. I typed in the best offer like 200. Immediately rejected.
Yeah.
230. Immediately rejected. I think.
Yeah, you're walking up that limit. Yeah.
I think I was 250, and it was accepted.
Plus shipping. Plus shipping.
That's like half the price. No, it was 280 or 290. Yes, it's 280 or 290. That's still almost like half the price of every other FrameMeister on eBay.
Yeah.
And then the guy messages me the day after and says, "Hey, I have SCART cables for Super Nintendo, PlayStation, and I think it was Saturn. Do you want them? I'll just throw them in."
Sure.
Okay. So now I have SCART cables for all those consoles. Plus the N64 I bought came with SCART cables.
Oh, nice.
So I tested out the N64 with the OSSC. Actually, I tried it with the FrameMeister first, and I just got a blank screen because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And the instruction manual's in Japanese.
Oh, perfect. Google Translate.
So I need to either talk to QDog or try and get help with that FrameMeister to figure out what I'm doing. But I probably just need to pick the right input and then turn it to the right profile and all that stuff. I know that there's settings you have to change. So I plugged in the OSSC and it also had no video at first. Then I grabbed the remote because they both have remote controls, but on the OSSC, it's in English at least. And I just pressed channel 1 and it immediately started displaying the N64.
Okay.
I'm like, sweet. So I know the N64 works. I know the OSSC works. I put in my own expansion pack on the N64, of course, because I had one laying here. And then the FrameMeister I still have to figure out, but I haven't had time. So then I got thinking when I was at Barrie, because the guy from Good Time Games, the guy with the ponytail, was there, and I know he mods a lot of consoles for them and a lot of handhelds. So I just walked up to him and said, "Hey, I've got an N64. I installed the mod chip. It's not booting. Do you have any thoughts? Have you ever done one?" He's like, "No, I've never done one, but I don't mind taking a look." He said, "Our hourly rate is $30."
Okay.
That's actually pretty cheap. Like, I don't know what other places that do this are, but $30 an hour, if you think of your mechanic, that's like
that's half
85
price.
to 200 to $250 an hour.
Yeah.
So I just took it in today.
Okay.
And he opened it up. He looked at it with his bare eyes. I tried magnifying glass for him, and I still couldn't see a problem. And he said, "I see a short here." First, he also took it apart, pulled off the expansion pack, cleaned the pins just to make sure it wasn't something simple, and it still didn't power on at all. So he took it onto the bench and just took it apart and saw a problem, fixed that problem, put it back together, and hooked it up, and it works.
Oh, so you didn't brick your N64?
I did not brick my N64, and now I have an RGB N64 and an HDMI modded N64.
So which one am I getting?
Do you need an RGB N64?
I don't know.
And an OSSC?
Jeez.
So I have that debate to go with on myself. I hooked up the N64 today with HDMI. I checked out the settings, and I really like the settings it has. It even has one setting to remove the blurriness on some games. Like some games when you can't see far, it
Okay.
adds like a fog to the game. And this
Okay.
has a setting on the mod chip to remove that. So
Oh.
I need to figure out what game has that setting and turn it, or has that fog, and try it out. But I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it'll look better than the RGB modded one because it has that. And
Yeah.
it also has a lot more settings than the RGB one. The RGB one has like just nothing. It's just video out. That's it.
Yeah.
So there's no like menu you can go in. Whereas with the with the HDMI one, I can go in and say I want it to be 240p, or I want it to be 480p, or 720p, or 1080p.
Okay.
And I can
Yeah.
also set the scaling, what type of scaling I want. Do I want it the original size, pixel wise, so it'll be small on the screen, or do I want to double the scaling, or what type of scaling? And I can
Yeah.
adjust the brightness and add scan lines if I want. And
Does it have a menu? Like, does it have a remote or something? Like, how do you
it
get?
has
How
a
do,
menu. So you press the L and R, and then the down button and the on the D-pad,
Down
and the
C?
down C button, and hold it for 2 seconds, and that brings you into the menu for it.
Oh, okay.
And then from there you can control it. It's also controlling the game while you're doing stuff in
Of
the
course.
menu. So whatever.
Whatever.
As long as I don't break anything.
You set it up and then you reset the game, and then
Yeah, or put in a game that needs you to press start or something like that. Like
Yeah.
it'll be fine. So I put in my EverDrive and started up some games and check it out. And
I was
it
gonna say now you
weird,
have an HDMI N64 that you'll never play because no one plays on 64 games. Yeah,
exactly. Well, an EverDrive for N64 that I'll also never play.
Yeah,
But
perfect.
I did put the Smash Bros remix on it,
Okay.
which is like people took Smash Bros for N64 and modified it to have the newer characters.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna definitely put that on the TV and just show my son and let him freak out and watch his mind blow. And then his cousin, who's also obsessed with Smash Bros and Nintendo lore and everything. So it'll be hilarious to blow their minds.
That's cool.
But yeah, I do want to play some N64. It's just, gotta actually do it.
Yeah.
They do both like GoldenEye as well. They've been playing GoldenEye on the Wii.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if they've ever played on N64. I don't think they have.
On the Wii or the Switch?
They were playing on the Wii.
Oh, really? Okay.
My brother-in-law has the GoldenEye on Wii.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So they're playing that one.
Hmm.
And they love it. They enjoy going around and just deathmatch with each other.
Oh, yeah. It's perfect. Good times. Yeah.
And I played with my nephew one time and he could not believe it. I just saw an ad. That is awesome. Sorry. This VHS tape literally just had an ad for Super Mario 3.
Good timing.
During the original Star Trek. Interesting.
Nerds.
Not that I'm distracted or anything. That's pretty cool. And it ended with a Nintendo Seal of Quality. I gotta grab that. Maybe I should write down a timestamp. Otherwise, I'm going to forget. That was on this VCR, and 4 minutes 31 seconds. That is random for it to be during Star Trek, but I guess Mario.
So what I've learned from this is Good Time Games will mod stuff for you for $30 an hour.
Yeah, they did. I cannot complain about that. I wonder what it would cost if I just brought in the stuff for them to do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if it's $30 an hour, then here you go.
Yeah, I mean that mod chip, I could have had them install it for $30, I bet. Even if it was 2 hours, $60. And also, it gets better than that. So he's done it. They can't test it because it's mini HDMI on the back, not regular HDMI.
Okay.
I forgot that the mod chip had that. It's just to make it small and fit underneath the original connector, basically.
Yeah.
So he's like, take it home, see how it works, or see if it works, because at least it powers on now, is what.
Yeah.
And then I said, well, what do I owe you? They didn't even look like they were going to charge me anything. I'm like, what do I owe you? And the owner just looks at me and says, well, what do you think it was worth? What do you want to pay? Oh man,
that's hard. That's hard.
The guy who did the work says, well, we charged $30 an hour and it took less than half an hour. So $15 is what the guy behind the counter says. $15, all right with you? So I just pulled out a 20 and just handed it to him. Like, that's more than fine.
Yeah.
They don't even know how much I would have paid for them to get this thing working. This is also my childhood N64 as well. So there's a bit of
so you want to keep it. Yeah.
hurt there that I killed it. But yeah, it looks like it was just a short that was fixable and not something that caused damage.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm hoping that that's all it is and that nothing else turns up. I did have it plugged in, turned on, and it was looking great. And then all of a sudden it did a weird flickery thing. But I also don't know what video mode I was in. I played with the video modes after that, and it seemed to get it seemed to be bad when I had it on 1080p.
Okay.
So I don't remember if I started on 1080p or not, but 1080p definitely had like a big black area on the bottom of the screen. And I guess they said 1080p with their FPGA that's built into it doesn't work with some TVs, and you just need to play with the TVs and see if it works on your TV. If not, pick 720, and that's compatible with most TVs.
Yeah. Sure.
So I'm doing 720 with scaling, and it looks good. Looks really good. I just need to try some games on it next.
Yeah.
And
Actually
then decide what to do with my RGB one. Yeah. And then decide what to do with the other one.
So that the N64 that you bought back from me from your previous inventory, what's happening with that one? You selling that one or?
Yes, it's just sitting here not being used.
Okay. Can I buy that back from you then?
Probably. Yep.
Sweet.
We didn't take the memory card. No, I took it out. Yes, I took it out and gave
You took it. Yeah, I have the expansion, but I'm just going to throw a jumper in it and sell it as a jumper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I got an extra jumper.
It's not being used, and I already have 2 other good ones.
Then you got to figure out what to do with. You got 2 of them to get rid of now.
Yeah, so. I got to figure out which one to keep. I'm pretty sure the HDMI one is the better one to keep.
Oh yeah, keep the HDMI one. Yeah.
So. I mean, I soldered it myself badly, but I soldered it myself.
So all he did was fix the short. That's it.
That was it. He just fixed the short. Yep. Which means I didn't kill it.
Yeah, which is nice.
Which is good. Yeah.
Very good.
It's really nice to not kill it.
I should. I've got parts to make another modded GBA with a backlit screen. I wonder if I should take that to them and be like, "Hey."
Yeah, they would do it. They do it all the time.
Do they?
That's one of their common mods. Yeah. Actually, when I was in the store, a kid came in. A kid who was like 7 years old, with his grandma. I assume because she was old enough to be his grandma. And he says, "Do you have a Game Boy?" So they show him all the Game Boys, and they don't have one bone stock Game Boy in there. And that's all he wanted was a bone stock Game Boy.
Like original Game Boy?
Yeah, they had a red original, but not like just a normal original. So he ended up buying a green Game Boy Color, just based on price.
Yeah.
But they have modded ones in there too, and they were trying to. His grandma asked, like, "What's what the price difference is? Like, why are some of these way more money?" And they're explaining, "Oh, it's better screen, and they're modified, and they're aftermarket shells, and all this stuff." She did not care. She just wanted him to get a cheap Game Boy. And then it was his birthday, and then he picked up some games, but I missed what it was. I was really curious what game he picked up. Either Pokemon or Pika, Mario or a Kirby. I don't know.
That's funny that they're going back like a kid that young is going for an original Game Boy.
That was pretty cool. I just wished I had original Game Boy there to give him or sell him or something. Like,
yeah.
I'd even get him one if I have, because I know I have one in a box here that needs a screen glued on it. But like,
yeah, me too.
Yeah, right.
No, actually, no. Wait, I bought one of those AliExpress like glass screens to put on it and put that on it.
I need to do that. I have a couple more of James's old ones here, I think.
Yeah, just buy a bunch.
Too.
Buy some screens, put them on.
Yeah.
So, speaking of which, I did get a trade for a backlit GBA at the Berry Show.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty nutso trade.
Not just backlit. It was a regular GBA, not SP.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like the back. Yeah, the modified one. It had an aftermarket shell and stuff on it as well. So
yeah, I want that, but with a lithium battery and USB-C.
So you can still add that in. You can still get like a lithium battery that has the 2 terminals that just fits in that slot. And then you don't even have to like hardwire it in. It just pops in the battery.
That's what I want to do, but I'll probably never get around to it.
So, but yeah, a guy wanted the GameCube that I had. And then he was just like, I don't have any. Are you taking trades? Which I wasn't really. Like, obviously I have way more stuff that I need. So
and every time someone says, will you take trades? They bust out 3 sports games and a Call of Duty.
Yeah.
What will you give me for this?
And some racing games and BioShock. And yeah, I don't need any of this.
Yep.
So he was like, I don't really have anything good. I'm like, well, I'll look, but I'm very picky. It's got to be something really good. He's like, well, I don't know if this is good. And he just busts out this backlit Game Boy Advance. I'm like, what the heck is this? Where you say you don't have good stuff?
Aftermarket shell, clear purple, was it?
Clear purple, yeah.
Yeah.
not indigo purple, but like actually purple.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. And what else did he? And I was just like, oh, this is pretty cool. He's like, oh, I also have this regular SP, no charger, and I could see it turned on and then shut off. It had enough power to just like boot and then shut off. So I'm like, I don't know about this one. And the top is a little scratched up and stuff.
Yep. Nothing special. Just
nothing special. It wasn't a 101.
Those sell the non 101s, the 001s.
Yeah.
Still sell for like $80.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but they do.
They do. So
they used to be $30 if you were lucky.
Yeah. I used to sell them for 25.
Yeah.
So anyways, so I just kind of like, I looked at him and was like, are you wanting to trade both of these for the GameCube? And he was like, sure.
Okay. Yes.
Oh, okay. Sure. Like I was expecting a no or one or the other but I mean, if he's going to take it, it's just like, I asked it more as like a question, not like an offer. Like, are you want both of these for, anyways. Yeah. Sure. Okay.
Good deal.
Yeah. Good deal for me. So I kept the modified one and I put the SP up for sale so I had a bunch of chargers there that I was selling, original chargers. So I plugged it in for 20 minutes to get a charge on it and tested it and it worked. So put it up for sale. And I did have another vendor come and trade a DS. He wanted my Metal Slug on DS. And he brought over Pokemon Black, I think it was.
You had black and then white.
Well, yeah. So black first, and then I was like, okay, I'm just going to test it. And I looked at the pins. They looked a little dirty. I had to borrow a DS Lite DSi from Bill. And I could not get that game to boot. And I tested other games to make sure it wasn't just the DS that was broken, but the DS was fine. It wouldn't boot. Finally, the vendor came back. I'm like, hey, bud, sorry, like your game just doesn't work, which is why you should still test games before you do the trade. It's harder to do that with disc stuff, but
yeah,
DS stuff is pretty easy.
Console there, but
yeah,
luckily we had Bill there to borrow a DS from.
Yes, thankfully.
I was gonna pins on that game were bad.
Yeah,
see it was dirty.
So he didn't try to argue. He was like, oh, so yeah, I didn't see that. I just got to clean the pins. But here, so he took it back and then came back with Pokemon White and said, will you do this one instead? And I said, sure. So I tested that one too, and it worked. So
yeah, which was also definitely in your favor, that trade, right?
Yes, still Metal very much in my favor.
Is $60 American. And Pokemon, if only I could type, on White. My God, I can't type. Now that this is also an American, and then go to DS here, complete is $78.
Yeah. So
in your favor, as it should be, because you're the one who paid for the table.
Yeah.
To be there.
Yeah.
Well, he did too, but he came to you.
So. He came to me for the trade. Yeah. So yeah.
You had what you wanted.
Yeah. So
you would have paid cash.
True. But I also have to be careful. So, at the Toronto show, this was a concern. So I was watching for this one as well. People who want to test DS games at your table. A lot of people have modified DSs, and what they'll do is they'll get expensive games and they'll pop it into their system to quote unquote test it. But what they're actually doing is just copying that game to their DS, to their SD card or whatever.
Oh.
Okay. But I've had this happen not at a game show, but I had it happen to someone who came to buy a game, test it. Oh. And he was just like, oh, it's trying to load into a game right now. He was trying to like play it off like this, that, and the other thing. And finally I caught on. I'm like, oh, he's copying this game. And then he's just like, oh, I'm not really sure if I want it. And I'm just like, dude, you're paying me for this because you just copied the game. Like I called him right out on it. I'm like, you just copied that game to your DS. And he's like, oh yeah, okay. And then he gave me the money. So at Toronto, this happened. A guy was testing a game and he had it in his system for like almost 5 minutes. So it gets to a point where, I give him 30 seconds to make sure it turns on and they can press start and it starts loading. And then I'm like, is it good? Is it good? All right, take it out. Like, I don't want him.
Yeah.
Ripping it. So, I mean, if you really want to rip a game, just go and download it from the internet. You don't have to go and steal someone's money, basically.
Yeah. Or time.
Yeah.
Just your time.
Just my time for it. Yeah. Now I'm watching you when I should be watching someone else do it.
Right? Someone who actually wants to pay me money.
Yeah.
Or
Not that, I mean, you're not stealing money from the developer or the publisher or whatever. At that point, the game is no longer being, but you're actually stealing money from the vendor who is there trying to sell it, right? Like,
yeah. Yep.
So yeah, good show.
Well,
The weekend before Barry, I went to African Lion Safari.
Oh.
And so did Nintendo Hodge, but I didn't know he was there the same day that I was. The organizer of Barry Game Exchange.
Yeah.
So it was later in the day when I was at home. I looked on Facebook and I just saw him posting he was at African Lion Safari. I'm like, what the heck? I was there. It would have been cool to like see him there and be like, is that my favorite YouTuber? You know, just play the Star Trek, the Starstruck fan.
Commented being recognized. He commented on being recognized.
Did he? I didn't see that.
In his latest video, or maybe it was a couple ago. I just went back to his channel and caught up on the last 5 videos I missed. So it was one of those videos. He said he got recognized. Can't remember where it was, but
yeah, that's funny.
Yep.
So African Lion Safari has changed since last I was there.
I've never been in my life, I don't think.
Really, it'd be fun. It's fun for the kids. Like it's.
My son went for a school trip.
Okay.
2 years ago, probably now. Yeah.
It's expensive. Like for the whole family to get in for the day is like almost $200.
Jesus.
It's the same price to go up to CN Tower as we did to go to African Lion Safari, but at least you get a full day out of it and not like an hour and a half and then you're bored.
Yeah.
But all the attractions and stuff are like you pay to get in and you have access to everything. Like you're not paying for, you're not paying to go on the train ride. You're not paying to go on the boat. You can pay to go on the bus, but you don't have to go on the bus. You can drive your car through for free. Right, that kind of stuff. So
I'm not driving my car through there.
And the bus is cheap. It's like for all of us to go through, it was like less than $20 for all 4 of us to go on the bus. So
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did all the shows. They show a lot of birds. There seem to be a fewer animals than there were last couple of years. You used to be able to go in with the sheep and the goats and like walk around and pet them and stuff, and they'd lick your arms. But they had the gates locked, so you couldn't go in there anymore.
It doesn't sound fun.
It's fun for the kids because they like, it's eating me, whatever. Like their teeth aren't sharp or anything. That's not they can actually hurt you. So
they'll eat your clothes, worst case.
Yeah, they just kind of munch on it a little bit. But yeah, I can't do that anymore. And the biggest change, and this is, I mean, good and bad depending on how you look at it. They used to have an elephant show. Right, they'd bring an elephant out and he would kick a ball and then they'd paint on a shirt and they'd sell that shirt at the shop for like proceeds to go towards their elephant rescue mission and stuff like that.
Okay.
None of that is there anymore. You can go and look at the elephants and their pen. Like you go all the way down to the end and they have like an elephant lookout where you can basically just look at the elephants. But they don't do an elephant show anymore, probably because it's too quote unquote circusy and that's frowned upon these days.
Yeah.
They also had an elephant ride. Last time I was at African Lion Safari, you could pay and you could ride an elephant. And they would put 2 or 3 people on.
Sounds vaguely familiar from somewhere.
Yeah. So which was fun, which we did. And they just, I mean, they swap out the elephants. But again, I think it just became too circusy. And they were probably getting some backlash from that. So they've cut all that out. Even the area where the platform was to get on the elephant, that's all been torn down. You can't see it in it. So I think they're just taking that off. Cause we went for my son's birthday, which is the day before mine. And we were like, he loves elephants. I'm like, oh, we will go and we'll do the elephant show. We got like, we're planning it out. We got to make sure, and we'll pay the extra. You had to pay extra to ride the elephant. I'm like, we'll do it for his birthday. We'll take pictures. We'll have fun, whatever.
You didn't tell him though.
No, we didn't. We've learned not to promise things anymmer. We we're going here.
I'd rather surprise you when it's good and not disappoint you when it's bad.
Yeah. So, but yeah, nothing was there. But anyways, we ended up they had like a bit of a playground. They have a playground area and like an obstacle course and then a splash pad. So we did the splash pad at the end of the day. So
okay.
It's a very big splash pad. Like there's like 3 different splash pad areas and water slides and stuff. So yeah, it's fun. It's worth it for that. I mean, not really worth $200 to go to splash pad, but
yeah,
it's a nice added bonus. So
we went to one of the like carnival fair thing, in the parking lots they have.
Yeah, we did it last year, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, we just went this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And what day was that? I don't remember.
It was
Anyway,
Friday. No, it was Thursday you were texting. I was going to baseball. When you texted me you were at that plaza, I was actually at the same plaza getting food on the way to my baseball game.
Okay, well there you go.
Yeah, random fact.
Yeah, I forgot. Anyway, we randomly just took the kids there without telling them at all. We're just like, oh, we're going somewhere. It's a surprise. And we just took them to the carnival thing with the rides. And my son is like obsessed with the games. He wants to play the games. The
scam games. Yeah.
It's a trick. I'll show you a video when we get home, like Mark Rober's video, right? He's got some, especially the latter one. He's like, oh, that one looks easy. I'm like, no, man, that's like the most rigged one.
It's like the most impossible. Yeah.
The ring tosses and stuff aren't possible or aren't easy either. But and then they've got the guaranteed prize. Well, yeah, you're gonna get some little tiny stuffed animal that I can go to the dollar store and buy.
You're paying for the prize, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, or worse, because the prize is worth like $1 and you're paying $5 to play.
Yeah.
So anyway, we went on the rides. We bought tickets for the rides. That was a whole debacle too. They intentionally priced the things so that it's hard to calculate what's a better deal, right?
Yeah.
So they had a promotion to buy tickets online, but for the online thing that my wife found on Facebook, it said like 16 rides for $25 or something. No, 6 rides. 6 rides for $25. But each ride takes its different number of coupons.
Mm-hmm.
So you get there and they sell coupons at the door, at the gate, and it's 3 coupons for this ride, 2 coupons for that ride. Most of them were 3, just the little kid ones were 2. And you can't easily do the math unless you assume 3 coupons is how much each of the 6 is worth, basically.
Yeah. And you always get leftovers, and
yeah, and that's the other thing, is they always try and have leftovers. So we did the deal. We figured out the deal was the exact same price no matter whether you bought the coupons for the rides or the tickets. So we went with the tickets, so we had the flexibility to do some 2s if we wanted to. So the kids did the carousel, which was 2s. Actually, the kids and Cynthia did the carousel, and that helped us use up our leftovers. We would have had leftovers otherwise, but either way, the kids had a heck of a lot of fun, and they'd never been on bumper cars before.
Oh, okay.
So Sean got to drive his own bumper car because he's old enough.
Yeah.
Lauren rode with Cynthia the first time, and I went alone. And they had fun. The bumper cars aren't crazy fast or anything like that. They don't hit hard. And you're not supposed to bang directly front to front on anybody, but they had a lot of fun. And so we went and did the bumper cars again because we had enough tickets for everyone to go but Cynthia. So this time Lauren rode with me and Sean went by himself, and we just ran into other people. And then Lauren and I had fun. She's like counting how many people. No, she said, you have to hit 10 people. I'm like, okay, but it might be the same people over and over because there's only like 5 people here. That's why. So she's counting as I'm driving. That's good.
That's funny.
Yeah. And we got past 10, and she said, "Okay, now 20."
Oh, geez, yeah.
I like the bumper cars. They were fun. I forgot that when you steer all the way around, it goes backwards.
Yeah.
Which is
I don't remember the bumper cars being there last year. That must be.
Maybe not. I don't know. They were in the back corner, but.
Or maybe it could be a different company too, right?
Sure. It could be a different company. Yeah, I don't remember what the company was. I saw the signs, but I didn't really.
Yeah, who knows?
Generic company.
It's traveling vagabonds.
Yeah, they had their camping trailers all parked around, like these huge camping trailers all parked around, and we explained to the kids like they travel with the circus. They go all around Canada, and who knows, maybe even more, maybe in the States too. I don't know, but at least in Canada and go all around, and they're like, whoa, cool. Yeah, you don't want to do that job.
It's cool. It sounds cool, but it's not cool in real life. Yeah.
Yeah. But at least they weren't really annoying with the carnival games. I've had other times where you go and they just hassle you.
Yeah. I think I think people have figured out that they're all scams now. They're just not. That's why they're doing the guaranteed prize now, especially when they're kids. Like, just let the kids have a prize. That's all they want.
Right? Yeah.
So we usually go and like let the kids play 1 or 2 games. They get to pick 1 or 2.
Yeah.
We do the guaranteed prize ones. So we
went to do that and they couldn't choose one. So I just said, never mind.
Yeah.
It would have been fun to do the horse racing one where you spray water to make your horse go faster.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But the problem with that is I bet only one of us gets a prize because you're against each other.
Yeah.
Because your horses all racing against each other. So in that way, a ring toss or something would have been better because you then guaranteed prize for each person that pays. But whatever.
whatever. So,
So, we don't ever talk about current events
oh, okay, getting
and
serious
news,
now.
but I got a little obsessed with the submarine thing.
Okay,
You heard about the Titanic
I have
submarines?
heard about the submarine
So
submersible.
I may know way too much about it.
Oh, okay.
We don't need to go into details, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask, because I have watched all of their YouTube videos, like the ones that were made by that company on YouTube for their expedition side, and then I started going through all their ones for the other one. It's basically like me watching all your videos on your channel.
Yeah, of course. Sounds like
And
something you
then
do.
I watched a ton of news coverage about it as well, mostly while I was at work, just working, and I just put it on the background. But TikTok's laying in bed as well. Tons of as soon as you watch through the whole one of
The
them,
algorithm has a
more
hold of
come up.
you.
And I'm like, oh, I've seen that one. I've seen that one. But yeah, that whole debacle was yeah, a bad situation,
Yes.
basically.
Yeah.
Engineering flaws is my opinion on that one.
Yeah.
And James Cameron's opinion as well.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that works out when they do their investigation. But I suspect the knowledge is already out there of what that's going to turn into.
Yeah, I think so.
And the lawsuits will fly because several of those people were quite loaded. And the
Yes.
the agreement doesn't seem to hold up as well. And yeah, the company might be gone.
Yeah, I think the company might be done.
Yeah, I think so. Let alone
I,
just their popularity.
they lost their credit. They lost
known.
all their credibility.
Yeah.
So,
well, they lost their CEO. So
well, that too, but
maybe there's just no point in doing anything else. But I mean, people are going to be out of business, out of a job that way. But
yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. And it's hard to feel. I don't want to say that it's not sad. Of course, it's sad that people died, but it's hard to feel sorry for them.
Yeah, because they knew the risks.
Yeah.
And maybe the guests, or the tourists, as you might call them, mission experts, as they call them, because it's a legal loophole to not be tourist company.
Okay. Yeah.
But the tourists had a good idea of the risks, but I don't think
they're not fully aware.
really
No.
aware that this submarine is not certified and what that means. The agreement said it's not certified, but it didn't say what that means. Like, this is the only submarine that dives this deep that is not certified, and has been for the last, 50 years.
Yeah, because this isn't the first time that's gone down, right?
That what's gone down?
This submersible. It's been down there
No,
before.
it's the 12th, 13th time.
Yeah.
13th time. Lucky 13. Anyway, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Yeah. It was the first time for this year. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know
crazy.
if those dives were all that deep either. I don't know for sure, because that's not always communicated well. They also say it went on dives, but it maybe only got halfway and had to abort and stuff like that. So
Yeah, so maybe they never actually went down that far. This is the first time it's actually gone down.
They've definitely gone down that far, and they've definitely
Okay.
done photos and video in 4K, and I think they started doing 8K recently of the Titanic. They've definitely done trips of that last year.
Okay.
There were none successful yet this year. There was none where they made down. This was the 5th one. I don't think any other went down that far, or went down successfully this year. No, I don't think so. Can't remember, because what was his name? The D Almighty is a YouTuber, and he was supposed to be on the 3rd one, and that one didn't go down. And I think he said the previous 2 hadn't yet this year either. Pretty sure. So that means the 4th one would have been in between these, and I don't know if they went down. And this was the 5th one where the problem happened.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's funny to see how many YouTubers that I know, like in the periphery of YouTube, all say, I was supposed to be on a trip, whatever, this time ago. Mm-hmm. And they have, it's not just like them saying it. They have photos of them like prepping and like fitting and for their suits and stuff.
Yeah.
So like it's all proven they're supposed to be on there. So like, yeah, how disastrous it could have. I mean, no, that's not disastrous, but like more famous people, quote unquote, could have been gone. Pretty nuts.
It is nuts. It is absolutely nuts and unprecedented. And Yeah. That company has presentations and videos out there right now that say submarines are over safe is basically what they were communicating. Like,
Yeah.
this is part of the reason why they went with the way they did, is because submarines are too safe and there's been no incidents in the past 35 years. Everything's over safe.
I saw a quote from the CEO saying, "I can do more by breaking the rules,"
Yeah.
or something like
I
that.
want to be remembered for breaking the rules. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, he will be now. So
Those videos. Yep.
yeah.
Definitely be remembered for that. He also built his own airplane years ago, and no problems happened with that. But airplanes is also where his education is, not underwater.
Yeah. There's a lot of different factors.
He tried to use aeronautical knowledge underwater, and airplanes just work different when it comes to pressure than underwater.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have the tonnage.
Yeah, and your pressure works backwards underwater. The pressure is pushing on you, whereas when you're in the air, it's thinner and you're pressurizing the inside of the cabin so that people can be in it.
Yeah.
And carbon fiber is stronger when you're pushing air out than when it's on the outside pushing in. Yeah. There's a lot of problems with all this. Let alone the previous employee who told them that they need to be checking it periodically, and they said no, and they fired him, and then he sued, and then they countersued, and yeah, it was great.
They had so many opportunities, yet they still did not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
pretty crazy.
I've become obsessed.
I can tell.
Yeah, only a little bit,
Only a little bit.
Not that I have an obsessive personality or anything. VHS tapes, what?
Well, speaking of being stuck in a small space with lots of other people, I did an escape room for the first time.
Oh, I love escape rooms. They are fun.
I've never done one. This is my first one.
Where'd you do it? KW?
KW escape rooms or whatever. The one over by the Honda dealership. So
I don't think I've ever done that one.
Okay. Yeah, it was good. Went for one of my friend's wife's birthday parties, so it was only 6 of us. And we were split into 2 groups. And we had to find a way to open the door. It was like a restaurant, a diner theme. So like one group was in the diner side, the other people were in the kitchen side. There was a door in between us that was locked. We had to work together to open the door, and then we could have access to both sides to figure out the rest of the room.
Yeah.
So I am very glad that other people were there, because I kind of felt stupid because I didn't. Again, it's my first time. I wasn't sure where to look. There's so many clues everywhere. Mm-hmm. It's hard to figure out which correlates with what.
Yep.
Until you kind of shut everything off and then focus on, okay, here, what is this telling me? Okay, now look here, and kind of shut out all the other clues that you don't need to look at right now.
Yeah.
So
it was one that I did. So Adventure Rooms Canada is like, I think one of the first ones in town here. And I've done that 3 or 4 times now.
Okay.
Different rooms that they've had. And I went with work one time, and that room was, it depended on a lot of external knowledge, like previous knowledge, like Aristotle, like literally.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Socrates and Aristotle stuff. Like, that was where I was like, I would have never got that. But luckily I had coworkers who knew that stuff. And then other things were more like a physical type problem.
Physical bubble, yeah.
How does this fit into here and stuff like that was more my forte than those. Yeah. But they figured it out every time. I think I've never been in one and not solved it. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
We went with my family once, with like me, my brother, my sister, my other brother, my parents, and all of the couples. And they split us up. I think we split up like in-laws and outlaws kind of thing, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
And we kicked the other one's butt anyway. I can't remember which one was which. I'm pretty sure it was me and my siblings, if I recall correctly. We have a picture, but we went twice with my whole family, I think. So can't remember which time that was, but either way, both times I've gone, I've won. I've been the winning team on my family. So
nice.
Yeah, it's fun.
It is fun.
I like the way they're made. Sometimes they're overly simple, but then again, it's timed. So I mean, you're gonna get freaking stressed out and screw up for stupid reasons anyway.
Yeah, and that was part of it. So when she first dropped us off in the room, she basically says, your first objective is to open that door. Don't worry about anything else. Open that door. You should have it open within the first 10 minutes. If you don't, I'll call you. They have like a phone that they put in the room.
Yep.
I'll call you and give you a hint to help you along. Anyways, so we were at 12 minutes and we hadn't opened that door yet. And we still hadn't had a phone call out of an hour. Yeah. An hour. And it was like, we are screwed. Like if we can open this stupid door in 10 minutes, we can't figure out the combination or the keys and whatever. I'm like, we're screwed for the rest of this. Anyways, we managed to open it, and so we're like, okay, we're good. But then it was just kind of like mad chaos. Everyone goes in like different directions, and we're all like looking at different puzzles at the same time, trying to figure out how everything fits together. To get to the more interesting parts, I mean, some of it was like, okay, we had to put a plate, a dessert plate at a specific spot at the diner counter, and it popped a door on the other side of the room.
Oh, okay.
And you'd only know to put it there because you'd look at the special that someone orders a pie. So you look at the pie menu. There's coffee beside the pie. So you have to look around and find the one spot that has coffee already and put pie beside the coffee, and then that pops the door. That kind of thing.
Okay.
But you wouldn't know that unless you looked at the picture to know what goes together. Another one was like we got a list of, I think we finally got a radio frequency at some point. We had to go to the jukebox, tune to a specific frequency. That gave us, and then we had to find the songs. They had a loop of songs. And based on what song was played, had a correlating number. That number gave us a combination to a lock underneath, which gave us a viewfinder, which gave us, like it's just,
we had builds. One where so my dad was messing with everything. Like he was unscrewing lights from the wall because he thought he had to be clever. And then we got to, I don't know if we got stuck. I think they got stuck. Maybe it was them, the other group, or we figured out another way. I don't remember. But I remember at one point we didn't know, or the group didn't know that you had to actually pour water into it wasn't a lamp, but it looked like if it was a vase. You had to pour water from the actual tap in the bathroom in the room with a cup into the vase to float something out. I think a key on a floaty keychain out. Okay. And we just assumed you weren't supposed to play with the water because they told us the bathroom was actually just for going to the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
So we didn't think we were supposed to pour the water into this thing to float the key up to get it because we thought that was too like destructive, basically. So I remember that, but I don't remember if it was my group or the other group, or if we found another way around it. I don't remember.
This one had like everything like glued down. If you didn't need to move it, it was glued down. So
I did find that I went to KW Escape once.
Okay.
So Adventure Rooms Canada was in 2017, and then the Ultimate Escape, I don't remember now. I just closed that, but yeah, somewhere around there, some time after that.
Well, the one puzzle that I want to talk about was there was a wall that had a map of southeastern Ontario that had actually, I should say Ontario. And they had a bunch of red buttons on it when one had a flashing light on it. Okay. So you would touch that light, and then you would touch another one, and then that one would go back to flashing. So clearly it's a sequence. You have to push this button and this one, and they all correspond to different cities. Okay. So I went immediately into gamer mode. I was like, this one, then push another one. Try every combination. This one. Okay, those two stay lit. Try the third one. They all go out. Okay, that one, this one. And I worked my way through. Anyways, I must have spent like 5 minutes at this, and I was just like, and I was methodically going through, and I was up to 5. And then then I hear the phone ringing behind me, and I answer it. And I'm like, that's for me. And it's the lady saying, yeah, you don't have to do the puzzle right now. You'll get a key for that later. So the viewfinder that I mentioned before, when you look through it, it had pictures of all the restaurants.
I was going to say something like, tells you all the towns.
All the towns they opened. So, and they were in chronological order or whenever they came out. So you had to go through, write it down on a list. Okay, what year, and then put those cities in. I was one away to figuring it out just by brute force.
You should be. They should make it so it should work that way.
Yeah. And actually, I was within my brute force method. I was within 2 tries of hitting the one that was next. So
We should
I
watch
just thought
this.
it was really funny. And my wife was there when I was doing it, and she just laughed. She's like, as soon as the phone rang, she's like, I knew that was for you. Saying you're doing this wrong.
Oh man.
Oh, so that was fun. It was good. I'd like to try one again. Anyways, we did end up escaping with 40 seconds to spare, and I thought we were done because we were just like, we finished everything. We're like, what do we do now? And the clock was still ticking down, and we're like, what happens now? And then the door clicked open. We're like, oh, thank goodness. So, but yeah, we did not have a lot of time, and we thought at that point we were just okay. We didn't pass.
But you did.
But we did. Yeah, it was very close.
Well,
so we'll see.
I watched some things.
Did you? Okay. I watched some things, and probably not the things I should have watched, but yes.
That's right. I only watched one of the things I should watch.
Okay, I did too.
Why do I have a thing written down here that I don't remember? Oh, TV show. Yes. So I watched the movie Sisu.
That's on my list to watch. I haven't watched it yet, though.
So you know of it.
I know of it, yeah.
So brief description, it is an ex-soldier who quit from the war. The war is still ongoing, but the Nazis are being pushed out of Finland, where he's from. He is a prospector, and he's trying to get gold out without running into Nazis, basically. And he's a killing machine. That's pretty much it.
It's John Wick in World War II is what I've heard.
World War II, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, pretty much. It's pretty good. There's some times where I'm like, all right, it's kind of lame, or I saw this coming. But for the most part, it was awesome.
Yeah. That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
So
it's on my Plex.
Just because it's on my Plex as well. Just because we talked about that, there was a similar movie that I watched called Blood and Gold. It is on Netflix. Very similar movie. It's a German movie about Nazis. So that in itself was interesting to me because they're making a movie about their own history, and it's Germans fighting Germans.
Oh.
Germans fighting Nazis, basically.
Okay.
So I think it's kind of an interesting twist. Not to say it's a great movie, okay? It's an interesting movie, but it's not great.
That's allowed. That's allowed.
This is the second time someone has recommended this movie, a movie to me, saying that it's very Tarantino-esque, which they know is a trigger word for me. And so when I go in to watch it and I realize it's not Tarantino-esque at all.
So someone played you.
Yes. In this case, it was my father.
Oh, so your father just doesn't really know?
I don't think he really knows. I think it was more, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. It's trying to hit the level of violence of Tarantino, like Inglourious Bastards. It's trying to do that.
Still haven't seen that movie.
Oh, so good. Anyways, it's a cheap version. It's a very cheap imitation of someone trying to be Guy Ritchie / Tarantino.
Okay.
It's okay. It's worth a watch if you want to have something on, but I wouldn't say it's like must go out and watch.
2023 too.
Yeah. Which is funny that it came out because I was debating between Blood and Gold and Sisu at the time. But I was waiting I have another friend who wants to watch Sisu, so I was waiting for him when he's available, Daryl, whenever he's available, to come down from where he lives an hour away. So
yeah, you should watch Sisu.
I should. I do want to.
Yeah.
So
you should.
Anyways, continue.
I also watched The Faculty.
Oh yes, I love this movie.
Because Josh suggested it / described it. So again, I don't care about directors and crap.
This is Robert Rodriguez.
I just saw that. I don't care. What I saw, or what I remember was you telling me Selma Hayek's in it.
Yeah, that's a win. Yeah.
But oh my God, what's his name?
He's a star-studded cast. Josh Hartnett.
Elijah Wood. I'm like, all right, Elijah Wood's in it. I'm gonna watch it because I've been enjoying whatever he's in pretty much. And it also seeing him reminds me of Dirk Gently. Have you ever seen Dirk Gently?
I know of it, but I haven't seen it yet.
So there's two Dirk Gentlys. Don't forget.
Mhm.
There's the British and there's the American. So watch them both, but watch the American one for sure. And yeah, I think and Jon Stewart was in it, and what's her name? Freaking Lilith from Frasier. It says
Who?
Bebe, Bebe. Frasier, you know Frasier.
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
wife that he divorces.
I don't think
Lilith.
I know. I don't think I know. I haven't seen enough of Frasier, I don't think.
He's also on Cheers. You don't know either? Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, she's in it. And
Okay. What character is she?
She was the principal.
Oh, okay. I know the principal then. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that was her.
I always liked her on Frasier and on Cheers, but yeah.
And Robert Patrick.
Yeah,
He was the coach. He played.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Is that his name? Yes. Okay. Huh. I think
There's a ton of people. Josh Hartnett, Clea Duvall, Claire or Clea Duvall. Yeah, so many people.
Usher is in it.
Usher's in it. Yeah, he's the high school. He's the football
That's why
buddy.
I recognized him. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a ton of people in it. I remember the movie coming out back in the day. I mean, it's from 1998, so I remember coming out and just never watched it. But it's like a sci-fi high school. I don't know.
It's supposed to be like action horror, basically.
Yeah, that's a good description. I was gonna say thriller, but it's not really.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also a bit of like problem or solving the, detectiveness in it from
sci-fi horror detective.
Yeah. Anyway, that was fun.
Yeah, I do really like that movie.
I wish there was more Salma Hayek, but it was still good.
Yeah, that's true.
She wasn't
the
nurse,
line
pointed out.
Yeah, the nurse, of course,
but not a sexy nurse.
The line, well, she is later. The line that makes that movie so good to me is when I don't remember, can't remember if it's Clea or Claire Duvall and Elijah Wood are talking in the library when Elijah Wood is trying to explain to her, look, aliens are taking over the school. And she said, after he explains the whole thing, it kind of cuts away, then cuts back. And she's like, so you're telling me that they're taking over the school because aliens have been here for a while and they've been feeding this information. They've been feeding us these Hollywood movies of alien invasions. So when it actually happens, none of us would believe that it's actually happening. I'm like, that is so smart. That is exactly what they would do.
Yep.
That's the line that makes the movie for me.
It was self-reflective in that way. Right?
Yes.
Like you liked about it.
Yeah.
I get that. It was good.
Great movie.
You got more to watch? I got 3 more.
Oh man, I got you beat on movies then. Not the ones I should have, but
one of mine's not a movie, but
okay.
And I have 1 Cage movie out of these 3 things.
Okay, so let me pop off a few here. I'll go through my Netflix queue first. Excuse me.
Let me fire up IMDb.
I was on Netflix and one popped up for. Oh, excuse me. I don't know what's going on over here. Like hiccup burps. It was like number 2 trending in Canada was a movie called The Substitute with Tom Berenger.
Yeah, I remember this movie, but I've never seen it.
I had never seen it either. I know the cover. I've seen the cover a million times. And I was just like, really? This is trending in Canada? Well, I kind of have some time to kill. I kind of want to see what's going on. So I watched it. He's like he's a Navy SEAL, disgraced and Navy SEAL. Comes back home. His girlfriend, who is a teacher at a high school, gets beaten up by thugs from the high school. And so he goes in and pretends to be the substitute teacher, which is all in my mind is just like, oh, hijinks are coming. He's going to crack down on these kids. He's going to show them tough love, whatever. This movie goes straight into like 80s drug war. It is the kids in the class are in a gang. They're siphoning drugs into the school. I'm spoiling this movie, by the way. It doesn't make no difference, but it's fun. It's a fun 80s action flick, if that's what you want. Ernie Hudson. Do you know Ernie Hudson? He played the one of the Ghostbusters. I can't remember their name.
Oh, okay.
he's the principal of the school, and he's involved bringing drugs into the school, and with the gang, he's in collaboration. And so when Tom Berenger was a substitute, he got disgraced because it was a failed drug bust in Colombia or whatever. He got busted. So he's got a hard line, no on drugs, you know? So when he knows that the principal is bringing in drugs and these kids are bringing in drugs, the gang, it's bad. They have to die, you know? Like
I recognize a lot of these kids too, like from
Mark Antony is like the main baddie other than Ernie Hudson.
But there's also Luis Guzman.
Luis Guzman is in it, yeah.
Yeah, he's in it. I recognize him. Raymond Cruz. This guy looks familiar too.
Possibly. That one's not striking.
Mexican drug dealer from Everything.
Stereotypical typecast. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, so yeah, and then the whole movie climaxes in he recruits his SEAL buddies to come, and they're gonna have a gang war with the gang and the school principal on school property in the school, and they're all shooting guns at in the school, and I was just like, this is so wrong in so many ways. Anyways, on to Substitute 2. I haven't watched it yet, but
there's a Substitute 2?
Oh yeah, there is.
I didn't know that. I was thinking this is gonna be like Michelle Pfeiffer and what's it called? Dangerous Minds.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Oh, that's what you were talking about with the hard love and the
okay
stuff. That's more of that.
Yeah, okay. That's
the Gangster's Paradise song comes from.
Oh, okay. Coolio, whatever.
Yeah.
That's probably the movie I was expecting. Even though I've never seen it, that's the movie I was expecting to see. Instead, it was like, you know, he's teaching Substitute and he makes a connection with the kids talking about his time in Nam, you know? Yeah. Anyways, that's a fun movie. It's cheesy as all get out, but it's fun. And then I watched Extraction 2 on Netflix, which is the new release this month. Obviously a sequel to Extraction with Chris Hemsworth. I actually like the first Extraction movie. It was different because it was set in India, which you don't see a lot of movies set there, especially like Western action movies. And they had a couple cool like cinematography tricks. One of the big fight scenes at the end is all one take. And watching the making of that scene is just as interesting as the whole movie. Like the techniques they had to use to pass a camera off to make, like, they're making impossible shots, but they are doing it all by hand and passing the camera from one person to another person. It's just nuts. So that's what made that movie, the first Extraction, very.
The problem with talking to you is you give me too many things to watch.
Sorry, I'll stop talking. Anyways, that's the first movie is absolutely is a good watch. It's entertaining. Not to say it's like groundbreaking, but it's a very entertaining watch, and it's good for exactly what it is. Extraction 2 falls into generic action movie. They took what everyone loved about the first movie. So take the long action sets, long takes, long one take action sets. And it's like the whole movie is that. They try to make a Pardon?
Same director and same writers as the first one.
Okay.
I was just checking to see if there was some kind of like switch up there to make it not as good, right?
Yeah, I think they literally just took all the feedback from the first one and they're like, let's do more of that. Which in some cases you do want. You don't want them to try anything different. You just want them to do more. But this, they went into more like it's Eastern European, I forget, it's gangsters or whatever, and it's just like, it just felt so generic. And I think what made the first one more interesting was the setting, that it was in India, and he's trying to protect people in this one as well, but it's almost like people who don't want to be protected, whereas the last one you really felt for the person he was protecting and you wanted to see him succeed. So definitely watch the first one. The second one, if you're intrigued, sure, go for it.
Okay,
I'll say that.
Sounds good.
All right, moving on. I'll let you put one more and I'll throw in a couple extras.
There's a couple things that I've kind of watched that's worth mentioning. So I had a VHS tape that I think I started scrubbing through. I don't remember why or how I got skipping into it, but it had Raiders of the Lost Ark on it. So I started watching halfway through Raiders of the Lost Ark, but because the commercials on it were so good, I'm like, I need to watch this. I want to see these commercials. And then after Raiders of the Lost Ark ended, it was European Vacation.
Okay.
Chevy Chase.
Chevy Chase, yeah.
National Lampoon. So I started watching that too because the commercials are good in that as well. So those just things I've partly watched.
You should watch them all the way through, especially Indiana Jones.
I need to start it over. That's the problem. I need to go back, and then it's a 6-hour recording, so I need to figure out where I was in that. If I want to skip that and go, I might have to finish European Vacation and then start
and then go back
over again. Yeah, it's recorded a video file. I just need to remember where I was. That's all.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then I watched a little bit of this TV show called Bottom, which is a European comedy show with Rick Mayall. I don't know if you'll know him. He's from Drop Dead Fred. You ever seen the movie
not
Drop
ringing
Dead
at all.
Fred?
I have not.
As a kid, I remember Drop Dead Fred, and I enjoyed that movie so much. It was this girl who grows up with an imaginary friend, and he's always there, and he's a clown fooling around. Like, imagine if The Mask was your imaginary friend, basically, like that kind of zany, crazy humor. And I just remember this movie. It's from 1991, and it has who's the main girl? Not who I thought. All right. Anyway, so he's the comedian. He's a comedian that's in that, and I noticed that he had this show, or I think I heard him mentioned on something else called Bottom, and it's just like him and this friend are in an apartment together, and it's like from 1991 as well. Interesting. So same year as the movie came out, but it's just an interesting British comedy. Funny but stupid. Like one episode they are trying to get girls, so they buy pheromones from a nudie magazine or from a porn store, and they go to the bar and try and pick up girls with these pheromones, which are clearly not working. So just ridiculous losers try to do good in life. Another episode is them just trying to skirt the gas bill because they went to their neighbor's house when he was away, switch the pipes so that the gas for their meter for their house goes to his meter, so he gets charged for whatever they use. And then they're trying to undo that when the gas man comes and stuff. Those called Bottom.
Hijinks ensue. Yeah,
exactly. And then I started watching the TV show Dave with Little Dicky.
Little Dicky, yeah.
So I don't know anything about him as a comedian, which I assume is where he came from before this, or a rapper.
He's a rapper, yeah. A comedy rapper, yeah.
In the show, that's the same person he is, but it's like a story about him and his friends and trying to become a successful rapper, basically.
Okay.
But I'd seen a trailer of it with him and his girlfriend, and I was just like, that show seems so ridiculous. I should check it out. So, of course, it's in Plex, and I've been checking it out. I didn't see the first episode because the wrong thing downloaded, this British TV show with the same name downloaded. But either way, I've watched season 1 other than that, and I'm on season 2 with like 5 episodes left or something like that. So it's entertaining. It's pretty funny. His humor is not totally spot on what I like, but it's got moments that are pretty good, and his group of friends kind of are funny and rounded out too.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good. Decent show. I think there's like 3 seasons of it, I think. So
that's what I've had on my radar to check out one day, but I just haven't got there yet.
Yeah. I think it's worth it. It's not high priority, but it's worth it. I have 2 more things. What you got?
Okay. Well, seeing as we're talking about TV, I'll jump on TV right now.
Sure.
I have
after this. So.
I have 2 TV shows, and I've got 5 movies still.
Oh God. All right.
Yeah, it's been
IMDb watch list up.
Get it up. All right. I finished watching after we recorded, and you mentioned that you had Barry on your Plex. I went on and I watched all of the last season of Barry.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a season.
It was a departure.
That's a season, all right.
Yeah, I did not really enjoy it. I liked the
I
show up till there. Up till
I
that.
don't want to say I didn't enjoy it. It just sounded like, or it feels like they wanted to change it up. And so
Yeah.
rather than change up some things, they just decided to change everything.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be a dream sequence for an episode or 2
Yeah.
or 3. Wait, this is still going?
Yeah.
I couldn't
That's what I
believe
thought
it.
too. I thought it was going to be like very like, meta and trying to like,
Felt too much up its own ass to me. That's what
yeah.
I felt about it.
Although how it
I'm glad
ended,
they kept a couple of the same people, like the people that were the staples were still there,
yeah.
but yeah.
It just completely switched to a whole new level.
So anybody
And I wish they would
never seen Barry, you should definitely watch Barry, at least season 1.
I would argue watch all of it at that point. If you get to season 3, you might as well finish it. But
I don't even think season 3 is worth watching, to be honest. Season 1 is great. Season 2, I think, is good, but with some hiccups, is what I remember. It's been a while since I saw it.
Yeah.
And season 3, I don't know if it's even worth.
I enjoyed all of Barry to varying degrees, but I've always, at the end of the day, I was just like, that's a good show, and I liked it. Season 4, as much as it is very different, it's still entertaining at points, and I don't see how they could have ended it any differently. If that makes sense. I'm not saying anything because it's still way too recent, but I'm just throwing it out there. People who have seen it will know. But yeah. Anyways, that's Barry. Watch Barry.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember which episodes were which. I'm looking at the last season, and all these thumbnails don't even look like what I remember seeing. It's weird. Anyways,
moving on.
Yeah.
After that, I was kind of like at a point I didn't know what I wanted to watch. I've been watching movies in between here, so whatever. But sometimes it's nice to have like an hour. I just want a show. I don't have an hour and a half or 2 hours to watch a movie. I just have an hour.
Yeah. Or 2.5 hours or 3 hours.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't have time to watch a movie. I'll watch 3 episodes of this instead.
But at least you could have stopped.
I could have. Yes. I had the choice. I had the option.
Exactly.
Anyways. So Bill, our friend, Bill, SCC Pod, has been bugging me to get a show on my Plex so he could watch it. So I've been putting them on, and a show called Silo. I don't know if you know about it.
No.
It's an Apple Plus show.
Okay.
And he's been talking about how good it was. And so he was talking to me on Twitter in messages about like, oh, the last episode was so good. I hope you're going to get the next one. I'm like, dude, I haven't even watched it yet. He's like, what? Why are you putting these on here if you're not watching them? I'm like, because you asked for them. Anyways, so I did actually, that night that we were talking, I was like, all right, fine. I'm going to watch the first episode. So I came downstairs and I put the first episode on. I was about 5 minutes into it, and then my wife comes down. And then she's standing right here beside me. And then she starts watching the show. And she doesn't leave. And I'm just like, do you want me to put this on TV and we can sit on the couch? She's like, no, I should go up and do more work. And then she still doesn't leave. We're still watching the show. And I'm like, all right. So I turn it off my computer and I'm like, sit down. We're going to finish this episode. She's like, all right, fine. So she sits down and watch it. Anyways, we've gone through like 4 episodes of Silo, and it's a very good show.
Okay.
So thank you to Bill for the recommendation.
Men and women live in a giant silo underground with several regulations which they believe are in place to protect them from the toxic and ruined world on the surface.
Yeah.
That's the plot.
It's cool because it's also, I like the aesthetic of it. They literally live in a silo. And the things I find fascinating are always like the most boring things in most people. They don't have cars, right? But the silo is like miles and miles deep. So like if you got to go to the bottom, it takes like 2 days to walk down there.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like, yeah. So they have to like prepare. They have to like have backpacks, and it's like a journey to go down.
Oh my God.
And it's there's civilizations all throughout the whole thing, right? And there's markets, there's different people. It's also like a symbolism for like the class system, right? The rich people at the top, the poor people at the bottom, that kind of stuff. So it's very good, and it's also that retro futuristic vibe. So they're all on computers, but they're all on like DOS computers. It feels very like
Okay.
Fallout kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it's fun. I like the aesthetic of it.
I only recognize Tom Robbins, like out of all these people.
Tim Robbins?
Sorry, Tim Robbins. I don't recognize anybody else in this list of people in the credits.
You would know the one girl because she's Angie Tribeca. She's in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She is Angie Tribeca, you're
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
The main girl?
What's her name? No, not the main girl.
Okay. I was gonna say it doesn't look like her.
Whatever the.
Yeah.
I can't remember what her name is.
I don't see her on this main list of people though, but I do like Angie Tribeca, and I just saw her on something else too. I was like, oh, I should check that out.
Anyways, it's done a very good. Sorry, I've only watched 4 episodes. We have to watch episode 5. Rashida Jones. That's it.
I didn't see her in the top cast for the show but that's fine. She is just buried in there. Yeah.
So, anyways, go watch that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a for sure watch.
And I like shows that are like that too. Even though it's like the episodes are 45 minutes or an hour, it's still like I kind of want to watch this, especially because they can fit a good story in when there's a lot of episodes too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I watched one similar to that.
Okay.
I watched White House Plumbers. Have you heard of this?
No, I haven't.
No? I don't know why no one's heard of this. I mentioned it at work and everybody's like, what are you talking about?
What?
So it is basically the story of oh my gosh, now I can't remember. And they don't actually mention it in the description, which is weird. Watergate.
Okay.
The Watergate thing with Nixon and trying to basically keep in power. But it's Woody Harrelson is the main guy. And then I recognize other people, but I do not know them at all, what they're from. Like this dude, I recognize him, but I can't remember what he's from.
Is this a TV show or a movie?
It's a TV show, but it's like a mini series, 5-part, I think.
Okay.
5 or 6 parts. 5, it's what this says. Yeah. So it takes place in the 70s, 80s, 70s, I think it is, when Nixon was in charge.
Mm-hmm.
And just all how they screwed everything up, and they were professionals, but still everything went really badly, and how ridiculous it was. And pretty cool. And I like Woody Harrelson too.
Of course,
yeah. Anything and I'll watch it. Yeah, but it was like really well done, really well made. Was it Apple too? I can't remember. No, HBO Max. HBO Max.
Okay.
Yeah, really well done. And I think there's people in it that show up that are supposed to be significant in history, but of course, I don't know how.
We don't really know. Yeah, we'd have to be up on our.
I recognize Watergate. I hear it in the Leonard Skinner song. Watergate doesn't bother me. Does your conscience bother you? And he's talking to my God, what's his name? Canadian singer. Anyway, but Watergate, I just know of it from that freaking song. And in Birmingham, they loved a governor is another line from that same song. And this one guy in the show, I believe, plays that guy that's supposed to be the governor of Birmingham, who was a big racist.
Okay.
So that's their more history in that show. And he's one of the 2 main guys, as far as I understand. Tim Coates is also in it. And Tony Plana looks familiar. And Judy Greer is in it as well. She plays a ditzy wife of the one guy, which of course she could play a ditz, no problem if she tries. But it's really well acted, really well, like the scenes of that time frame. You can definitely tell they put a lot of time and effort and money into it. But
yeah, that's cool. I'm about to check that one out.
Yeah. White House Plumbers. And the reason they're plumbers is because they get rid of leaks. So this all started because there was leaks from the White House and they were supposed to stop the leaks. So they called themselves the plumbers. Yeah.
Very tongue-in-cheek. Yeah.
Ex-CIA and ex-FBI guys.
Okay.
Like the main guy, Woody Harrelson, may or may not have been involved in JFK's assassination, like that actual person. And this is all based on true story, and it's all like they say we don't bother changing the names of these people because everyone was found guilty.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. Pretty fun.
Cool. Yeah. I'll add that to my list. See, you do the same to me. I put stuff on my list too because of you.
Yeah. You just give me more. Anyway, I have one left, and it's a Nicolas Cage.
Okay, let me burn through I got 4, and then I've got a Nicolas Cage. So.
Oh, you have a Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. Spoilers. Which Nicolas Cage though?
Yeah, I know. Hopefully the next one on your list, but I skipped one.
All right. This is way before. This is probably the first thing I watched since the last episode. I watched Guy Ritchie's The Covenant.
Okay, I know of this.
I forget. It's on a streaming platform now, but I got it on Plex before it was streaming. It's about an army ranger, I think, who gets caught behind enemy lines, and then
in my mind, I was picturing a witch's covenant, like The Craft.
Okay, no. Then his translator has to basically get him out from behind enemy lines, which he, spoilers, does. But then, as part of the promise of, if you're going to be our Iraqi or Afghani translator, you will get you out when the war is over, basically.
Oh, okay.
But then the war is over, and a lot of those people didn't get out, right? A lot of them were killed by Taliban. So this plays on that, where he's now stuck, and now the Army Ranger, who's back at home, safe in the U.S., feels bad that like the guy who saved his life is now stuck over there, and he can't get out. He's stuck. They're the U.S. broke their promise to him. Yeah. So he goes back to then get his translator out. So it's kind of the reverse. So it's good. It's a very different. It's funny that it's called Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. It's like he's deliberately putting his name on it. So, but it's not a Guy Ritchie style movie that I think you've seen. It's very more, by the numbers, which it's still good. Because Guy Ritchie kind of plays, he's more humor in that side. This is a way more serious movie. So I think that's why.
Lock, Stock, Snatch, and Sherlock Holmes, right?
Yeah. So it's very different than those movies. It's still very good. Just don't go in expecting a Guy Ritchie movie, even though his name is part of the title of it, which is a bit strange.
That's okay. It says, according to IMDb, the current title is The Covenant, and it says original title, Guy Ritchie's The Covenant.
Okay.
It looks like they may have changed it.
They may have changed it because people were probably confused.
Distance himself from it.
It's funny because, okay, that movie came out in 2023. Also, it stars Jake Gyllenhaal, which I really like. So that aside. Another movie called Kandahar also just came out. Is basically Gerard Butler doing the same movie.
Yeah, studios do that a lot.
Yeah. Anyways, I haven't seen that one yet, but maybe next month I'll be able to contrast Covenant versus Kandahar.
Okay.
But it'll be interesting. Next up, I watched an 80s classic. Not really. One that I remember watching when I was younger. My dad really liked it, or my parents really liked it. It's called FX. Just F/X. It's from 1986. It's basically a guy in the movies. He gets hired to fake the death of a mob boss because he's going into witness protection. They have to make it look like he's dead so the mob won't come after him.
Is this not what FX the series was based on?
I don't know.
Okay.
Perhaps. I haven't seen the series, so. Anyways.
I used to watch FX the series for what I remember, but I don't remember. I can't find it.
Okay. This falls into the classic category of I remember this movie being a lot better. There's a lot of plot holes in this movie. It's acted really well. I enjoyed that part of it, but there's a lot of just like luck and happenstance that just makes the plot go forward. So like the one cop who's kind of trying to figure out what's going on and the main FX guy, they don't see each other until the last, 2 minutes of the movie. Then all of a sudden they're buddy and working together.
Oh.
So, and then they work together in FX2, which I watched next. Now it's kind of them working together for the next con. But this goes into like almost like a farce of itself, because it goes into, I forget which Rocky movie it is, but there's a Rocky movie where they have like a robot butler and all this kind of stuff, and it's kind of like very futuristic. It's kind of like what they hoped the future would be,
Okay.
but not really. And the same thing in this thing. He has a suit that controls a robot, but he puts it on and he makes the actions, and the robot does the things so they can. That's his FX, right? But it's clearly like a clown in a suit pretending to be a robot. It's a guy in a suit. And they're trying to mimic the same actions, and it just doesn't. It looks so fake, but it's fun in that way. So,
Okay.
anyways, fun movies. The first one is definitely way better than the second one.
Yeah, the
Watch.
series is based on the same thing. I believe it's written the exact same way. F/X, the series, and it's the same thing. It's a special effects expert helps detective solve crimes by making criminals see what they want to see.
Okay. Yeah. Probably same thing.
Yeah.
So this is probably just a movie
a
then.
couple years after as well. It was
Okay.
86.
86?
No, sorry, 96 to 98.
Okay.
Yes.
I was like, the movie was 86, and the second movie was 91. Who's the lead in that?
The TV show?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's nobody. I don't know. Cameron Dado. He is known for Hope Island and some other movies that I don't know. I recognize him from things, but I don't know what.
Because the lead in FX is Brian Brown, who I don't know from anything other than this movie.
Okay.
And Brian Dennehy plays the cop, which I know him from Silverado. He plays the sheriff in Silverado. And also Jerry Orbach, if you know Jerry Orbach. He's probably best known from Law and Order. So
I'd probably know him to see him if he's Law
yeah,
and Order.
he has a very distinct face.
Okay.
And then I watched another movie based on your recommendation. Wink, wink.
Oh no.
65.
Okay.
Because you said that I watched it and I didn't watch it. I didn't want to disappoint you. So I watched 65.
Based on my recommendation. My recommendation of don't bother.
Your recommendation was correct. What a disappointment of a movie.
Right? Yeah.
I wanted so much more. It had what a way to take a girl.
It was only an hour and a half.
Oh,
yes.
What a,
it could have been 2.5 hours. I would have been mad.
Someone had a great idea and had this beautiful premise. I'm like, yes, this is so good. And then promptly threw it in the toilet and flushed it down.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, it could have been so good.
Yep. It was just bad writing, right? The story was not good.
No, it wasn't good. If it literally could have just been Adam Driver shoots dinosaurs, and I would have been way more happy with that.
Yeah. It was them trying to rope in the daughter and the little girl and make them all related and make it all like emotional and then have fake drama and like problems that happen that wouldn't happen or don't make sense. So.
Just make it a straight survival story. He's stuck here. He needs to get out. Done. You don't have to have the rescue girl. You don't have to teach her anything. You just get him out. That's his job, is to get out.
Would have been better. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
But you saw it, and now you know.
And I saw it, and now I know. Hopefully, someone makes a 66, and they just make it the movie we all wanted.
That implies it's another million years ago.
Yes.
What if it's 64 and it's a million years after?
There you go.
Or 66.5. Sorry, 65.5.
65.2. There you go. 65-2.
-2, yeah.
Yeah. All right, you go ahead. I did 4. You do your Nicolas Cage, and I'll do my Nicolas Cage.
All right, my Nicolas Cage. My mouse is being weird. My Nicolas Cage is Amos and Andrew.
Okay.
This is Nicolas Cage and of course, my mouse is being really stupid. Nicolas Cage and Samuel L. Jackson. So Nicolas Cage, I wasn't even sure this was going to be like a Nicolas Cage movie at first, because it kind of starts out with just Samuel L. Jackson, but it turns into almost like a buddy bad guy movie almost in a way.
Okay.
But it was neat. It was interesting. It was definitely trying to say something about race. Basically, Samuel Jackson's character is a rich guy who speaks out against racism, and he became rich and got a Nobel Prize and all this stuff, speaking out about against racism and stuff. And then he buys a house or a cabin, I guess it is. He's kept saying house, but everyone else calls it a cabin in this like rich area where people buy houses just for the summer, pretty much to live in for the summer.
Okay.
And he's moving in, but people see him moving into his house and think he's a robber and call the cops. So the whole movie is around basically him being in his own house and the cops are there. And then the cops realize they've screwed up and they send in Nicolas Cage to be the bad guy because he's a criminal. And they're like, look, if you do this, we'll let you go. So they send him in to be the criminal that then Samuel Jackson is supposed to think was actually robbing him. And the cops are supposed to basically go along with and convince the media and the neighbors that this was the guy that had the gun the whole time. And the cops weren't just being racist and the neighbors weren't just being racist. So it turns into a fun movie. It's silly, but it's fun.
That whole movie is a Dave Chappelle joke. I'm not joking.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah.
Dave Chappelle says something about like he doesn't call the cops because they'll just show up and shoot him. And he'd be like, this robber showed up and hung up pictures of himself and his family everywhere.
Well, he was moving in, so he didn't have any of that stuff.
I know, but it's the same thing.
Yeah. It has 17% on Rotten Tomatoes.
The whole premise sounds fun. I'm entertained just hearing you say that. So
yeah. Audience rating on Rotten Tomatoes is 31%. So it's not rated well, but I found it was worth it. And it wasn't really cagey either. Like I did on our Nicolas Cage scale, I think I gave it a C. There wasn't as much Nicolas Cage and he wasn't as cagey as I would have liked, but it was decent. I watched it while doing something else, so maybe I missed something he did, but I don't think so. He was basically just a dirtbag white dude.
Yeah, which is perfect. Would fit well for that.
Who can't tell which direction is Canada.
Sometimes you need that actor, though. I think he could do that well.
Yeah.
He kind of has that spacey look, depending on when it was made. It was
1993, Amos and Andrew.
Okay.
And that is their names. Amos
and Andrew. Yeah.
So you are way behind me on Nicolas Cage movies, and I'm disappointed in you.
You should be. I will
we continue. Are never going to make it through this list.
I will
do one every month.
I will continue to disappoint you. Okay, I meant to watch more, and I was just like, it just didn't happen. This month, I mean, this past week, I was trying to, but it just didn't happen. Every night was something different I had to do, and I was just like, I can't. And then it was camping, and I was just like, oh, maybe I'll have reception, and I'll stream it, and I'll watch a movie up there while I'm in bed or something like that. Reception was spotty at best. So anyways, so I watched Moonstruck.
Okay.
I skipped Raising Arizona because I'd seen it already, but here's where it comes in. I want to watch it again because I'm watching the progression of Nicolas Cage.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see it again because originally I watched Raising Arizona because it was a Coen Brothers movie. Now I want to watch it because it's a Nicolas Cage movie. Right? So my perspective will be different.
So you did see Birdie, Cotton Club, Racing the Moon, Boy in Blue.
Yep.
Ace Who Got Married.
Yep.
And now Moonstruck.
Yeah. Okay. I am going in order other than Raising Arizona, although I have seen it. So that's my point.
The same year as Moonstruck, so it's fine.
Yeah. I wonder what movie, because you've told me that Cher specifically asked for Nicolas Cage to be in Moonstruck.
That's what I heard, yeah.
I wonder what performance that she saw that she wanted Nicolas Cage to be in this movie. Because I have two differing opinions on this movie. Also, I watched this movie last night because I'm like, I gotta get one in, or Derek is gonna have a field day.
Okay, Cher and I admired Nicholas's work in Peggy Sue Got Married.
Okay.
Said, whatever the heck this guy's name is, probably the director or something.
Okay.
That's what a quote.
That's funny because I didn't think his performance in Peggy Sue was that great.
No, not great. Maybe it was because it was zany or crazy.
Maybe.
She thought he would fit the role.
Maybe. All right, I got 2 opinions to this movie. I really like this movie, actually, which is hard for me to like. This is not my type of movie that I usually like. Right? It's a romantic comedy. It's not usually something that I would watch.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cher knocked it out of the park. She fit the bill. She seems very authentic. Everyone in the movie feels so authentic, and I can see why everyone likes it. The copy that I have is the Criterion Collection, so it's up there in terms of like notoriety and like how famous it is.
Mm-hmm.
Nicolas Cage is the worst part of this movie.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Like I said, everyone feels so authentic. He feels so fake. And I can't tell you why. It just feels
trying too hard.
I don't know.
That's what I get. From what I remember now, it's been a month or more since I saw it.
Yeah.
But what I remember is like he's out of place because he's trying too hard. Like think of the very first scene with him in the basement of the bakery.
Yeah.
He's just so out there. And then every other scene, he's not that same person, right? He's not that crazy, but he is obsessive.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the obsessive to one woman coming out again.
Yeah, exactly. Again. Yeah.
So
and I don't think they justified that either, but that's
no. And I feel like the whole like he chopped up his hand thing.
Yeah.
Just felt so out of place.
Yeah.
Because that's the only reason he doesn't talk to his brother, and then it's not really ever brought up again. Like he has this mutilation or maimed hand.
Yeah. And they do show it, at least they're consistent with that, but they don't.
They show it. No, they show it
with it being a problem.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't think it's consistent with being a problem because they show it once in the bakery when he takes his glove off, and that's the only time you see it.
I thought you saw it later on when they're like at dinner or something like that. It's just random.
No, he always has a glove over it.
Yeah, okay. I just mean it's there even though it's not really highlighted.
Yeah.
But at least they're consistent. But you're right. I don't see them going into why that bothers him so much. They don't really even explain it in the first place why it bothers him so much. In fact, Cher tells him that shouldn't bother you. That's not his fault, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a stupid reason to be mad at your brother and not talk to your brother.
Yeah. It was an accident.
It was your fault. Oh, but if he wasn't, then I wouldn't have. It's like, come on.
Of course, yeah. There's always that reasoning, something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just a bit strange. And I expected it to come back at the end for like. I was just waiting for that piece to fall into place, but it just never did.
Yeah.
Everything
for his hand.
The payoff, yeah.
Like maybe his hand helps them saves them, or it blocks a bullet, or who knows?
Yeah,
right?
or it brings him and his brother together at the end, or something like that, right? Like it split them apart, it brings them back together.
His brother loses his hand.
Yeah, payback, bitch. Anyways,
none of that.
Nothing ever happened with it. I do like the end scene where they're all sitting around the family kitchen or the kitchen table. And they're all just talking it out, and they're all just being real people.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like that. The funniest part in the whole movie, I laughed out loud, was a whole bunch of things were happening, and they look over at the grandfather, and he's crying, and they look at him and like, "What's wrong?" And he's like, "I'm confused." I was just like, that is the perfect meme for so many things.
And for the storyline of this movie.
Yeah.
But it was still good.
It's still good.
Is that just because of Cher? Did Cher save the movie? Like,
I think Cher saved the movie on that one. So here's the thing.
Her family did a good job. Like her mom did a good job.
Everyone did a great job. So this is why I have two things with it. Like I said, Cage was the worst part of the movie. Also, I tried watching with my wife. She fell asleep. She didn't really get the guy at the beginning.
My wife loved it. My wife loved it.
I think that she would like it if she could stay awake. But again, we just came back from camping. We were all zonked.
Yeah.
So I think if hopefully she'll give it another try. I don't think she can. She does not like Nicolas Cage, like at all.
My
She
wife
can't.
does not either.
She
My wife
can't
can't
stand
stand
him.
him. Nope. Same here.
And so I don't know if she can get past the Nicolas Cage parts because he's so over the top. That might push her against the movie. Him aside, I do think the movie is great. But if we're looking at this as movie-wise, it's great. Nicolas Cage brings it down. However, the Nicolas Cage scale,
Yeah.
if you're looking at it, he's super cagey, especially the first part of it. He's so he's so over the top. He's so over dramatic on everything. He brings the cage. So I don't know where to put this movie.
I put it as a B for the Cage scale because of that exact reason. He's so cagey, especially near the beginning. But there's still moments other than that he still is really cagey.
Yeah.
But
I would probably agree. B on caginess, but the movie as a whole is like an A.
Yeah. But that's not really what we're ranking. But
no, I know.
Did the movie as a whole bring up that caginess score as well, though?
Yeah.
I think it did. If it wasn't for the movie itself being actually good, I would have made it lower.
Yeah.
I think.
Probably.
That helps. But.
Yeah. Because normally I'm relying this is the rare case so far that I've seen where the caginess actually brings the movie down. Normally it brings it up. Like I'm relying I'm relying on Nicolas Cage's the way that he acts and his cheesiness. Actually, I'm expecting that to bring it up.
Peggy Sue got married, he brought it down too.
I didn't
With
think
someone else playing his character, it would have been better.
Possibly, yes.
Especially that voice.
The voice is so weird. The voice is so weird.
And the weird like wigs or hair pieces he had on that movie too. Like I feel like another person would have made it a better movie, but that's
I would agree with, like, not to go tear back on Peggy Sue. I would agree with you when it's the later, like the present day Nicolas Cage. But I think when he's young Nicolas Cage, I think he plays it off really well.
But he did a weird voice. He did like a little kid voice when he's supposed to be a 20 or 18-year-old, whatever the heck he is.
It didn't bother me that much because he was a lot younger. He was supposed to be like in high school.
Yeah, I guess so, like 4.
But he has the same voice when he's like 40.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm just like, what is going on here? Like,
yeah, I don't get what he was trying to do. It was maybe he sent too hard or something.
Yeah. Anyways. Go watch Moonstruck. He went from racing the moon to then being struck by the moon. So
you should go do your rankings for all these movies in our spreadsheet.
I know. You should send me the link for that. The look of defeat.
It hurts so much. It's like work asking me to do their job for them.
I know, because I'm just gonna get you to send me the link, and then I'll know. I won't even click it. I'll just wait till the next month, then tell you to send me the link again.
I'll send it to you twice right now.
Okay.
I did send it twice.
Gosh.
You're not gonna click it anyway.
I'm not clicking it. Not right now.
Not ever.
Not ever.
All right. So, what else? You watch anything else? That's all you got?
That's it for me. That was up to last night. Most recent ranking. I'm gonna go back to watching Silo hopefully tomorrow night. So.
Okay. Well, I got nothing else at all, I don't think.
Wow, we ran through the list. Well, we're at time. Hey, we've hit 3 hours and we didn't even have to splice in an extra half hour.
I could talk about VHS tapes.
Oh no, gosh, stop.
Good times.
Well, that's it, folks. Enjoy your Nicolas Cage. No one has still mentioned anything to us about them watching any of the Nicolas Cage movies we've talked about.
Yeah, you guys suck.
Everyone's probably I know Bill's turned it off. As soon as we mention Nicolas Cage, he turns off the episode.
The cheese is part of the reason to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a major reason.
Yeah.
And there are a lot more Cage movies to go through. Maybe I should have brought that list back up. You want to send me the link?
No. Do your own damn job.
Kidding. I'm kidding. I have so far watched, what is it? We got 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, maybe 19, 20. I don't know. Oh, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, maybe Cage movies. out of the 108.
You're getting there.
Some of them are knocked off because he's not. It's 4 of them that we are not counting because he's a minor character or not credited. So
yeah.
So let's say 104, something like that. Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, there's some of them that I think you still want to rewatch, and there's some that I need to rewatch, like Matchstick Men, Kick Ass. I really want to watch Kick Ass again because it was so good. Anyway, yeah.
Yep, we're getting there.
It's not 3 hours yet.
It's close enough. I'll add the extra long intro music.
Or just a blank at the end.
And the outro.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everyone for listening. We'll see you all in, gosh, what is it? August. See, we're in June right now, so I'm thinking July, but this is July, so August.
Yep, and we're sorry.
We're sorry. Sorry, Bill. Hi, Melissa and Eric.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.